Got to get the likes up first. 8,000 likes. Listen, guys, things have been interesting. To say the least. Things have not been so great. Things are not been so great. Trump is he is on a rampage, and if you are interested in joining the panel and actually having this conversation, then please go ahead, join the panel. We want to go ahead and hear your voice. So if you are interested in joining the panel, go ahead and join the panel. We just need to keep tapping the screen. As soon as we're over 8,000 likes, we are over 8,000 likes. If anyone is actually interested in joining the panel, go ahead and request up. This is not sparring with Santana. This is late nights with Santana. What does that mean? That means everyone is welcome. Everyone is welcome. Trump supporters is welcome. Non-Trump supporters are welcome. Any and every person is welcome. Tap the screen, share the live out. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Let's go ahead and get the shares up. Let's get the shares up to 100 shares. Let's go ahead and get the likes up. Let's get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Guys, let's do all the wonderful things to let the TikTok know that we are back. We are back. Tap the screen, guys. And again, if you are interested in joining, go ahead and request up. If you are interested in joining, go ahead and request up. This is Late Nights with Santana. What does that mean? That means that all are welcome, not just quote unquote ops, not just anyone who supports Donald Trump. If you do support Donald Trump, absolutely. Go ahead and request up. If you are a Trump supporter, go ahead and request up. You are welcome, but we are looking for any and everyone that is interested in joining the panel. So if you are interested in getting in on the conversation, we would definitely like to hear from some Trump supporters, but we would definitely like to hear from any and everyone that is interested in actually joining the panel. Guys, as we get people in here, keep tapping the screen, share the live out, do all the wonderful things, and we will go ahead and get started here in just a moment. We will get started in just a moment. How's everybody been doing? Listen, guys, I haven't said this in a while, but if you haven't sent your daily heart me, go ahead and send your daily heart me, right? It's only one coin and it helps boost the live. So if you could, go ahead and send that heart me. Go ahead and send that heart me. And also, let's see here, I'm trying to move this around. Gosh, darn it. It's this view. You know what? I think I'm just gonna go back to the other view. I think I'm just gonna go back to the other view. I think that might just be better. That might just be better. Yeah, we're just going to keep it that way. We're going to keep it that way. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here, guys. Let's go ahead and get started. We will go around and actually get a quick introduction to the people that are on the panel. Let's start at the top and work our way down. Beyonce mic drop. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, Kamala supporter.
Okay, wonderful. Hold tight for just a moment. Fee talks back. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, I am not.
All right, perfect. ZB, are you a Trump supporter?
No, I'm from Germany, and by definition, I can only stand for democracy, sir.
All right. And last but not least, Miss Tep, are you a Trump supporter?
No, sir, but thank you for having me back, Santana.
Absolutely. All right, guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and keep the likes moving, right? Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 25,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to 100 shares. Guys, it may look a little bit different. It may feel a little bit different because we are doing late nights from the phone, but it's still the same old. If you are interested in joining the panel, please go ahead and request up. If you are someone that supports Donald Trump and you would love to speak to what has happened over these, it feels like it's been 2 years already, but it hasn't even been, what is it? It's been 2 weeks. Like, it's been insane. If you are someone that wants to actually share your opinion on that, then go ahead and request up and we will get started. Also, guys, we do have the daily gift goal, which is the pink heart puffs. If we can keep knocking those out, it will help boost the live. So if you don't mind doing so, that'll help actually boost the live. And let's see here. We're going to go ahead and get this started off right. Just a quick reminder to the people on the panel, guys, while having these conversations, make sure that we are using friendly language. What does that mean? That means we're using words like AB, unalive, schmex, mustache man, smurder, all of those things that not only protect your TikTok, but it protects the live in total. Make sure that we are using those safe words. Also, guys, this is a safe and friendly community. What does that mean? That means that we don't deal with any of the isms, racism, sexism, classism. We don't do any of the phobias, homophobia, transphobia, none of that. We don't play that on the panel, nor do we play it in the chat. So if you are in the chat and you are participating in any of that, my mods will block you. They don't play. Last but not least, guys, please remember caps are for mods. So please, if you're in the chat, please, please, please do not use caps. It will draw my attention to the chat, and we're trying to have this conversation. All right. With that being said, keep tapping the screen. I want to start here with a massive W for Alex. Alex has already started us off right with a $5 donation. So we now only have $245 left in our nightly donation goal. Guys, thank you so much, Alex. W's in the chat for Alex. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. All of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please, please, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up. We have a couple of different topics that we can talk about, right? We can talk about how, Donald Trump has proposed that the United States should take over Gaza. We can talk about how prices are on the rise. We can talk about how the United States, it's the United States versus the world, or we can talk about who voted for Elon Musk. Those are the topics that we already have in place. We will go ahead and get this conversation started. Ms. Tep, I'm going to start with you. Where would you like to start? Because I am all over the place.
Do you mind if you come back to me? I'm finishing up an essay right now. I thought I'd hop in here while I can.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I'll come back to you. ZB, you're German. You're German.
I am Hungarian born, but I live in Germany for the most of my life.
Oh, okay. So you're Hungarian, lived in Germany. Okay. So
I live here actually, but listen, I mean, I really, it feels like 2 years, as you put it. I mean, so much political madness I never experienced in my life, and I'm 44. But his latest move with Gaza, I would like to pick that one. Because
let's talk about that real quick. How did that land internationally?
I mean, I just read it. That's why I'm awake, because I couldn't sleep back.
Mm-hmm.
And how he expressed himself that it will be a long-term takeover. I mean, he's basically invading that territory, man.
Oh, not basically. He absolutely is.
He's planning an all-out invasion of Gaza, and he fails to understand that this is not only about military power. Those guys are fanatics, and they are fighting for their own state for maybe 100 years, no, a little bit less, sometimes a little bit more, 80 years now. If you're only looking at modern politics,
right?
And then Trump comes and takes that dream away with one sentence and tells them that the world's people will be living there. The world's people. Who says that, man? He's the leader of the United States of America. He needs to be more specific, and even it's. I cannot get my head around what he's planning there. Just go there and develop a luxury condo chain for his buddies and rich people, or what is the plan there?
Yeah, no. So listen, the thing about it is we've understood what Donald Trump thinks, right, when it comes to Gaza, and even more so, he has admired the actual strip for so long. He's He's talked about, beachfront property and all of these other things. So the thing that he did today didn't shock nor surprise me, right? The simple fact of the matter is it's something that he actually has pushed. And like him and Netanyahu sitting side by side, smiling. And this was the plan all along, right? This is one of the deals that he made. And it doesn't shock me. The thing that worries me even more, not only are because he's been talking about ethnic cleansing, right? Because he's been talking about getting
Yes,
Palestinians
absolutely.
out and things like that. But to your point, right? You said those people that live there, those people that are from there, and even other people in the area, I don't think that they're just going to let it happen. So I think there will be, if they follow through with what he's saying, there's going to be more innocent lives lost. And it's going to be also U.S. soldiers' lives lost. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be peaceful, and that's just horrible.
He's basically not learning. I'm not sure that if he's even capable of learning, as stuck up as he is. Because remember when Bush Jr. went to Afghanistan and everybody thought that it will be 6 months stops because the superiority of American military power. It took more than 10 years, and then America needed to pull out. There is a reason why the Israelis never occupied Gaza, nor the West Bank. There is a reason for that. They went in and then they always went home. They never occupied it. And Trump plans on occupying it. And there is a difference between going in and going out and occupying something. How I see it, I don't think he realizes what kind of consequences this move will have.
No. I don't think so either. But I think that more than anything, there's going to be an outpour, a backlash, and I would say more so from the rest of the world. But Trump doesn't care about that. I mean, he doesn't care about allies, obviously, and I think also he is not really interested in what anyone has to say. So it's a whole thing. But ZB, I think what I'm going to try to do, because it's a little bit different without the panel and everything here, I think I'm going to start rotating people out
right.
quicker. So ZB, what else? Is there anything else that you want to add? Any last parting words that you want to leave us with?
No, I wanted to talk about Gaza first and foremost, so you can drop me.
Perfect.
And thank you everything for what you are doing, man.
Yeah, listen, hey, thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing in the struggle all the way across the ocean with us. But thank you for being a part of our community.
Thank you, man. Bye-bye.
Have a good one. Guys, tap the screen. Let's go ahead and keep the likes moving. Let's get the likes up to, we're almost at 50,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's also, I'm going to reset the gift goal. We're going to keep resetting to this 1 cent goal. If we can knock this out a couple of times, it will help us push out to the FYP. Guys, this is Late Nights with Santana. I know there's a different look. I know there's a different feel, but I promise you this is not sparring. This is not sparring. So all are welcome. And what I'm going to do is actually rotate people in and out quicker. So if you are interested in getting in on the conversation, please go ahead and request up. Go ahead and request up. We're going to get people in. And if you are a Trump supporter, you definitely have the option to come up. We are welcoming Trump supporters as well. So if you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. Listen, I'm going to go out of order for a moment because one of my favorite people just hopped in. Diva, how are you? Oh, did she drop? Oh, she must not have meant to come up. Okay, we will keep it moving. Fee talks back. Fee, there's a lot happening. There's absolutely a lot happening. What would you like to talk about?
Oh goodness, I don't even know how you pick. Um, First, thank you for having me up here. And you're right,
Absolutely.
this layout is weird. I've
It
been up
is.
here with you a couple of times, and
It
it's making
is.
my brain a little crazy.
We'll be back in the normal layout next week.
Okay, no worries. But this is, I don't even know where to start. I think the first thing I want to say, I am more frustrated with the voters than I am with him because I want to put it on more focus than just him because it's giving them a pass when they put him there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm frustrated because, the exit polls, obviously, they lied about why they put him there. They're not even like outraged. They're not bothered. They're not asking about their gas prices. They're not asking
Not
about
asking about the
rent.
eggs. Now everything is, you know what? It's okay to pay a little bit more. They're willing to pay more, like all of it.
Right, right. They're just willing to they forgot about all of that. It doesn't
All of
even
it.
matter. We were supposed to go into WW3 with Kamala, and now they're like, sure, let's go take over everywhere. Like what is this? But what did we wake up to? And I think the part that sucks, like for people like yourself and for all of the others who have been on here saying this, well, you guys didn't even go this far. I'm gonna be honest. You guys didn't even go this far in
Oh, I
saying what
did.
he would do.
I absolutely did.
This is like over the top and so
But
quickly.
see, you know what the thing is though, Fee? I don't even blame Trump. I don't. I genuinely don't. Donald Trump told us that he was going to do all of this and more. He absolutely said that he was going to do all of this and more, and people voted for him, either saying, "Oh, we don't believe that he's actually going to do this," or "Oh, he doesn't have anything to do with Project 2025," or "Oh, I'm voting for him because of the price of eggs or the price of gas." And Donald Trump has did everything that he said that he was going to do. And I've said this multiple times, over and over and over. Donald Trump made a deal with the devil. And when I say the devil, I mean the Heritage Foundation. Twice. The Heritage Foundation, the first time, helped him get elected. And they said, hey, we would like for you to pack the courts and overturn Roe. Well, he got 3 Supreme Court justices appointed, and they overturned Roe. The second time, they said, hey, we would like for you to enact Project 2025, and we'll get you elected, keep you out of jail. He got elected. He didn't go to jail. He's running through as many executive orders as he can to enact Project 2025. None of it shocks me. None of it surprises me. And I don't blame Trump because he told everyone, he didn't put the banana in anybody's tailpipe. He said that he was going to do all of these horrible things.
I agree with you. And that's why I said you guys were warning people every day, and all they did was exactly like you said. He's not going to do that. No, I wouldn't be okay with that. No, he's only going to do these things. No, you guys just don't understand when he's joking. You guys just fear monger. And it's like now all this stuff is happening within 2 weeks. I don't know what their expectation is in a month or two. And so it is really frustrating. And this Gaza thing, I think just made me like literally crash out.
Yeah.
So this is just like, and I think it's because I heard somebody on a live earlier. I wasn't even aware that all this happened. And I heard her saying she's from Gaza and well, she's still there. And she was saying they're so excited that they're now going to be getting the opportunity to go back and just, actually dig through this rubble to get their family members. That is literally what she was saying.
Right.
And she was talking about what he stood up there and said today, but I really didn't know what she was talking about at the time. And when I seen it, I'm like, what is this? Like, why? I'm not gonna say why isn't MAGA mad because I get it. They only care about what they care about, and none of this other stuff they don't care as long as the people are not allergic to the sun. Then they are fine with exactly what is going on. That's just really frustrating to me.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. 1 second. Matt, are you a Trump supporter? Matt? Matt, you're at the top. I'm gonna send you a request to come off mute. Matt, paging Matt Reeves. Matt, are you a Trump supporter? You have to actually come off of mute.
I did.
You are a Trump supporter?
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. All right. So, Fee Talks, if you don't mind, give us just a moment. And we are going to talk to Matt. Let me just run through a couple of quick things, guys, before we get into this. Guys, keep tapping the screen. We're at 56,000 likes. Let's go ahead and run it up to 100,000 likes. Also, guys, W's in the chat for Alexis. Alexis sent a $2 donation to go towards our nightly donation goal. Guys, that means we are $243 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Matt, the floor is yours at the moment, Matt. Matt, what do you think about what Trump has done so far over these basically last 2 weeks?
I think the most of it has been good. Some of it, I'm not so sure.
Okay. So
But
let's start here, Matt. Tell me what you're the happiest with so far, and what's giving you a cause for pause.
I want all the fentanyl out of my country.
Oh, can't say that. Hold on, Matt. Listen, I'm gonna drop you down. Request right back up.
Yep.
You can't say those the names of the rugs on the live. I'm gonna drop you down just for a second, but you can request right back up. Okay.
Okay, we'll see how it works.
All right, just request right back up. Hey guys, just a quick reminder when having these conversations on live, please do not use the name of any rugs. You can say F drug, M drug, you can say, other stuff like that, but please be mindful, use TikTok friendly language. Also, guys, just a quick reminder, if you are a subscriber, right? If you are a subscriber and you didn't notice what was happening in the Discord, there was an acknowledgement that we had to go through in the Discord. So if you are a subscriber and you were in the Discord and now you check and you see that you're not in the Discord, you need to not resubscribe. You got to get back in the Discord and you have to acknowledge the information in the Discord. You can actually go through your benefits and that will get you back into the Discord. Also, fun fact, if you are actually a subscriber, but you lost your subscription, because we lost a ton of subscribers, all right? Everyone knows that you can't recharge on TikTok. You can't do all the things. So if you are a subscriber and you lost your subscription, while I'm live, you can actually go online to your TikTok online and click on my information. And it'll let you resubscribe. And also you can recharge coins if you want. Apparently you get a discount there. So you can actually resubscribe and you can get your coins there as well. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 100,000 likes. And again, we only have $243 left in our nightly donation goal. We have 361 people watching. So if 243 people send $1, we can definitely go ahead and knock that out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. W's in the chat for Lorena. Lorena just sent a $5 donation saying, thank you for what you do. Listen, thank you so much for your donation. You are far too kind. Matt, all right, so you were telling me you didn't like all the F drug coming across the border. It's on you now.
I think it's very detrimental to our country. I also know that it goes to Canada. Same reason why Canada come back and said, hey, we're going to do something about it. It's terrible. It's terrible. Now, some of the other things I'm not such a big fan of, but hey, we'll see how it works. But
so tell me what's one of those other things?
one of the other things is sitting there and saying, hey, we're going to go after these other countries and smaller countries. I'll say that. And then we're going to act a certain type of way towards them. Now, most of it is because we support them. And we send a lot of money over that way. But we shouldn't support them unless they're willing to back us on what we're willing to do. Trump is sitting there saying, hey, look, we're not just going to give you unfettered amount of money just because. And I agree. I mean, look, we all pay taxes. But all these other countries can't just get unfettered amounts of money just because.
Okay. All right.
How do you feel about it?
Well, listen, I feel a certain type of way. I feel a certain type of way about all of it. I don't want to focus on me too much yet. So this is what I want to do, because this is late nights with Santana. It's not sparring, it's late night. So I do want to give one of the other people on the panel an opportunity to actually speak to it first. So Fee, I'm going to come back to you for a second. All right. So he mentioned two things, right? He mentioned what he likes, and then he also mentioned what he doesn't like. Fee, would you like to speak to either one of those things?
I know he said, what was the last thing that you mentioned, Matt?
He did not he didn't like the
money
way
to
that
like the UN, money to all these other things that we don't really give a crap about.
What does that mean?
It means a lot. I mean, look, we sit there and fund the Ukraine war. Why should we keep giving money to Ukraine? That's one of them. Just one of them. I could go down the list, but that's one of the biggest.
Okay.
A lot of money.
So you just don't like money to other people. You don't like money going to brown countries, basically.
Ukraine's not very brown, it's very white.
it's not, it
I
is.
mean,
Calm
okay.
down, it's very white.
I'm just saying you don't like money.
No, I don't
going-
mind money going to Africa if we're going to build wells and they need water.
You know,
I
they
have
cut
no
off money to
problem with
Africa as well.
that. I have no problem with that.
You know, they cut off.
Our
Let me
problem is-
hop in here for a second, right? So one thing that I do kind of want to address, because you did mention, right, the actual fortification of the border that Canada is going to actually do, right? How much do you know about the agreement that was put in place with Canada for the border?
Well, they made a bunch of noise about it this past week.
Mhm.
Canada was already trying to do something, but it was because pressure was already put on Trudeau.
You think so?
Oh yeah, and that's why they were already trying to do it. Now we know Pierre's coming up, and he's going to be the new prime minister. But the
Mhm.
bottom line was, like, they already had that implemented, and I don't have a problem with that. But they have a bigger fentanyl problem than we do.
Matt, okay, I got to drop you down again. You can request back up. Remember,
I'm
you
sorry,
can't say that.
whatever.
No worries. I'm gonna drop you down. You can request back up, but you just can't say it, okay?
I'm trying not to, man. But
No worries. All right, guys. All right, guys. Keep tapping the screen. Let me do these thank yous. Guys, W's in the chat for Tyrone, who sent a $5 donation. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Bernice, who sent a $2 donation saying, hey, Santana, I missed you and your lives. I missed you too. W's in the chat for Haley, who sent a $2 donation saying, keep up the good work. Haley, thank you so much for that donation. You are far, far too kind. Guys, that means that we are now, excuse me, we are now only $227 from closing out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. All right, we're going to try Matt one more time. We're going to get Matt back up here and try to let Matt finish his sentence. You know, Matt, it's a TikTok thing.
I hear you all day long. I'm gonna try not to F up again.
No worries. Go right ahead.
I just worry about what our country's actually going through
Mm-hmm.
and the way we spend our money. When you pay taxes, if anybody in here actually knows what it's like to pay taxes, it kills me to know that we're sending our money to fund a war that ought not to be funded. I'm just saying, period, point blank.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we doing it?
Yeah, so let's talk about a couple of things, because you kind of bounced around. And what I will say is Beyonce mic drop. If you would like to actually chime in as well, feel free to come off mute and I'll give you the floor too. So let's stop here for a second, right? Because with the actual border deal that that was quote unquote agreed on, the simple fact of the matter is that agreement was in place as of December. Now there is a little bit of a twist, right? The twist is them quote unquote having a border czar, right? Canada having a border czar. They didn't have that. But then also something that I actually think is beneficial, right? The fact that the United States and Canada are going to work together to help with their borders. So that is important. But like the thing that bothers me is it wasn't anything that actually happened, but it's being taken as a win after literally Donald Trump didn't just actually plunge the domestic markets into chaos. He plunged the international markets into chaos as well. Beyonce, would you like to say anything about any of this?
Yes, I do. I actually want to give a little insight of the executive order that was passed yesterday by Donald Trump.
Okay.
I don't know if you're familiar with the sovereign wealth fund that Donald Trump.
Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, we can get into that in just a moment. I want to kind of stay on what Matt is talking about for a moment.
It's piggybacking because he's.
Oh, okay.
concerned
Go right
about
ahead.
money.
Go right ahead then.
He's concerned about what we're spending our money on, but this is also a fund that Americans will be paying into, as well as taxes that Donald Trump will be using for his interest in investing for the American people, something that we don't have a say-so in. And so do you find that problematic? Because if you have so much concern about...
There's 57% of people that do have an interest in it. And the bottom line is...
You don't care what...
If you look into what comes out of Canada...
Be careful, Matt.
Buy lumber from
Be
them.
careful, Matt.
We mostly buy lumber from them. And then we buy some energy for the people that are around the Niagara Falls area. But it's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. I don't have a problem with that. That's fine.
So
let's do a trade-off. But when nobody can make sense of the extra that we pay to Canada, and we pay a lot of extra to Canada, they sell their products here because it's not very far to ship them. You just go across that line.
Okay.
It's a big problem when they're not willing to pay their weight in gold.
Okay, hold on one second, Matt. Hold on one second, Matt. Let Beyonce respond.
I think you're not listening to what I'm saying. Donald Trump is setting up a different fund besides your tax money that's coming out of your pockets, that he's choosing to invest money in to different interests that he has without your say-so or American people say-so. It's called the Sovereign Wealth Fund that he just signed the executive order for.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're concerned about your money going to random places, why aren't you concerned about this sovereign wealth fund? And I'm already scared about that word sovereign because we're not under a king. So I don't understand why he's using the word sovereign anyway. So
what you're talking about is something that really don't exist. It's a fake
well, he just
thing.
signed it into order. So if it doesn't exist,
the media is talking about it.
No. Donald Trump actually talked about it. He signed the executive order for it and said that this quote unquote sovereign wealth fund could actually possibly purchase TikTok. So it's a thing.
That's fine. That's fine. Why wouldn't America purchase TikTok?
Yeah. So
if we're the biggest users of TikTok, and we're on it right now.
Yeah. So the way, listen, have you ever heard of state-run media? Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah. I watched it with Russia. I read about it with Germany back in the day. Look, it's,
and you think that that's a good idea?
We have a form of it already.
In what, Fox News?
Oh no, and yes and no. They're on the boat too. Okay. I want it to be totally non-biased. I don't care. I would just want news.
Okay. All right. That's fair. Hold on one second.
Listen to me. If something happened today, I just want to know the actual news, and that's it. All facts, no garbage, just the news.
Okay. Hold tight one second. Hold on one second, Matt. Hold on one second. I'm just gonna call it's a mess with an S on my chest. I'm just gonna call you S on my chest. S, are you a Trump supporter?
Hell yeah.
Okay, perfect. Wait, did you say mess? Did you say that? Because I didn't see you come up.
I said it because I know who that is.
Okay, that was you, Matt. All right. A mess. Can you come off mute for me and just confirm, please? I'm gonna send you a request to come off mute. Guys, while that is happening, a mess. Are you a Trump supporter?
No,
You said no?
absolutely not.
Okay. All right. Give me just a second here.
Absolutely no.
Okay. Perfect. Give me just a moment. Guys, W's in
What to say?
oh, wait 1 second. Guys, W's in the chat for Rosalind, who sent a $1 donation for you said Monarcha of Mount Panuku. I can't say that. You know how bad I am, but thank you so much for the $1 donation. W's in the chat for Patricia, who sent a $2 donation. Thank you so much, Patricia. And massive W's in the chat for Mallory, who sent a $30 donation saying you're awesome and deserve the best. Mallory, you are so kind. Thank you so much for that $30 donation. You are absolutely amazing. Guys, that means now we are only $194 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. Guys, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated.
Look,
I'm sorry?
just get it to where roses are important. And then they can just tap on the roses. It's 29 cents at the time.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no worries. Let's do this, Beyonce, because I want to swap you out. Is there anything else that you want to say at the moment?
I just want to say that colonizers are going to colonize, whether it's Gaza, whether it's Panama, whether it's our country music, whether it's R&B, rock and roll. Colonizers are going to colonize. That's all I have to say.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for coming up. Guys, this is Late Nights with Santana, and I know the panel looks a little bit different. Things look a little bit different. You are more than welcome to request up. I'm trying to swap out friendlies in and out as quickly as possible, but I am also looking for Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, go ahead and get in the box. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. So I want to talk about what you said for a moment, Matthew, because you talked about how you don't want our funds allocated to other countries, or you like. So I guess take a whole step back, right? Not even talking about money, because something that bothers me, and I need to know, honestly, does it bother you, is how Donald Trump is talking about invading Greenland, talking about taking Panama, talking about now taking Gaza. He's starting new wars. He
ain't started a war yet, though.
What you're right. You're right. I guess that's a little bit of hyperbole, but those things can lead to wars.
Absolutely, I understand.
So does none of that actually bother you?
What does look? The bottom line is he put pressure on Panama personally to kick China out so we can open up the trade routes again. I heard people from Australia today saying, hallelujah, praise God, we get to go through the Panama Canal again. Look, all it is he's putting pressure on them.
Wait, do you think that's
all that matters?
Do you think that China controls the Panama Canal?
Oh yeah, they did. You could hear the Panamanians in the past couple of weeks sit there and say, hey, look, China controls this.
Okay, cool.
But hear me out. With Canada, he did the same thing. He just put some pressure on them, and they flexed. He put pressure on Mexico. They sent 10,000 troops to the border.
Hey, quick question: last year? How many troops did they allocate to the border, Mexico?
10,000.
No, they allocated 15,000 last year.
No, they didn't.
Yes,
they paid
okay, cool.
15,000 to go to the border. Guess how many actually showed up?
How many showed up?
1,000,000. Go look it up.
Where did you get that information? Because I'm going to look it up right now. Where did you get that information
I looked it up a year ago.
Where did you? Okay, cool. Where did you find that?
This was a year ago when it first actually happened. When they said they were going to do it, that's when I looked it up. Now, I don't know if it's been swept under the rug. I have no clue. But we know there was nothing that actually happened. Because if they would have been there,
we don't know that. We don't know that.
Right.
That's why he's asking you to
and
provide
I'm
it.
in total agreement.
Hold on
with
a
that.
second. Please hang on a second. But what he's asking you is to provide a source for what you just said. Then we can find out if it's true or not.
Well, we only have sources for today because the news cycle changes so fast.
Oh no. You can look up information from a year ago.
Well, I don't. I sit there and watch and I learn. But I know that it was a year ago when they first said that they were going to do it. And when it didn't happen, I said, man, what the hell's going on?
Okay. So again,
Things kept happening according to the status quo. Y'all, that F word that I said earlier that I got kicked for a few
yeah,
times,
F drug.
it kept coming in this country. And y'all got to admit now, we don't need that shit here. I mean, it's just honest.
Can I speak to that real quick?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
real quick, hold on. So let me just say this because I'm looking here and I see Mexico has deployed almost, and this is actually from
If it's NPR, you're gonna piss me off now.
Back in the
wait,
fall.
you don't accept NPR?
No, they just come out today. One of the biggest editors that was at NPR just retired because they were going to fire him, and I think they actually fired him in the same sense. And then they come out and said, "Hey, look, we spread a bunch of disinformation. We're sorry because everybody's about to get brought to life."
Yeah,
Matt,
Go look
this
that
is
up.
not
Go,
my
I'm
live.
telling you.
Matt,
Go look that
hold
one
on
up.
a second.
that's
Matt.
not true.
Matt,
Oh,
please, take a pause. This is not my live, but please, if you're going to say stuff like that, have a source that you can provide to back it up. You can't just say stuff like it happened or whatever without being able to prove it. So please just try to provide a source when you say stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, also, I mean, if you don't accept NPR, there's a Reuters article about it as well. There's a BBC article about it as well. But talking about the 15,000 soldiers and National Guards in the northern of the country, and this is from Mexico City, speaking from their perspective, talking about addressing to help stem the flow of illegal migration across the border into the United States. So this actually documents what was happening from the perspective of the people in Mexico City and how there were, let's see here, alongside 6,500 members of the security forces sent to Mexico's southern border with the Guatemalan, with Guatemalans were many migrants entered. So basically, let's see here, the northern part deployed a total of 14,000, almost 15,000 units between National Guard and Army. So they had a combination of National Guard and Army, 15,000 that were sent from Mexico. So I would love if you can tell me where I can find where, you said a lot of them didn't show up. I would love to be able to actually find that, but I'm not able to find any of that information.
Hey, Santana, you mind if I speak up real quick?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Yeah, so I just have a question for Matt. So, do you think that Trump is the best option to solve the rug crisis going on in the US right now? Dang, I'm hearing crickets from outside.
Hey Matt, I don't know if you know, but you are muted. You are muted. Go ahead. Yeah, let me send you a request to come off mute. Guys, keep tapping the screen. We're almost at 100,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000 likes. Also, guys, we only have $194 left in our nightly donation goal. There's 450 of us hanging out. Of 194 people send $1, we can close out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of my pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. I know you can't really see it here, but Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Matt, did you hear the question?
I heard two questions.
The question was,
one of them was about the border, and y'all said some shit about the southern border.
Well, yeah, I was asking if you could provide the source that you were talking about, but we can come back to that. So the question that was,
no, I can't. And if I could, I'd be honest with you and I'd give it to you, but I can't, and that's fine. But the evidence is right in front of your face with the F-bomb come across. But
okay, cool.
But
yeah,
no,
that's not. This is well, so hold on one second, guys. One second, Matt. So without an actual source, it's a trust me, bro. And I'm sorry, but I can't trust you, bro. But we're gonna move past that.
No,
with that being said,
ask another question, and that's what I was trying to answer. But
yeah. Go ahead with the second question again.
Yeah, so my question was, do you think that Donald Trump was the best option to solve the rug crisis going on in the US right now?
Who else will be better?
Anybody.
No, answer.
It's
no,
just a broad question. Do you think that he was the better option? Let's just say Kamala, just for Kamala, my bad. For argumentative purposes.
What is she going to do? She didn't do nothing in her own state.
I'm just asking a question.
No, I'm just saying, what did she do in her own state?
Yeah, you're dodging the question. I'm sorry.
No, I wish she could have
And
been
she
good.
doesn't run the state of she
wish
doesn't
she
run the
could have
state of
been good.
California. She's never been the governor of California. So what could she have
No,
done?
I'm just saying. But she was a DA there. She locked up people for weed like it was going out of style.
Okay. Hey, Matt, I'm
First
dropping
of
you
all,
down
that's
again.
not true.
And that's
Dropping
fine.
Matt.
I don't give a shit, y'all.
Hold
Y'all
on.
gotta stop
Listen,
being
Matt.
real.
Matt, you can't say the actual words of the
I don't
rugs.
give a shit. I'm out of here.
Okay.
Y'all
Well, leave then.
Okay.
This is not an
If I
airport.
can
We
say
don't
this-
need that.
Santana,
The
if
simple
I can
fact
say
of the
this
matter
just
is,
to
hold on
correct
one second. The simple fact of the matter is, Matt didn't have any sources. He had his feelings. He had the feelings in his tum-tum. He thought that Donald Trump, would do better. He said that, I watched it and nothing happened. Matt didn't have any actual information. Guys, if you are someone who has actual information, actual substance, if you actually want to go through any of these things realistically, go ahead and request up. This is Late Nights with Santana. If you are interested in joining the panel, go ahead and request up. We got a couple of people in the box, but we got some friendlies on the panel. If you're a Trump supporter, you can just say Trump in the chat and we'll bring you up. Mods, if you see anyone that is a Trump supporter that might be chirping in the chat, go ahead and request them up as well. MTAP, I want you to go ahead and speak on where you were going with that, please.
Yeah, of course, man. So just because I wish I could do my gotcha moment. Anyways, out of the over 1,000 people that Trump pardoned, there's a guy that goes by the name Ross or Earl Brooks. I can't pronounce his name. I don't feel like pronouncing his name. He's not a good person, but he was the founder of something called the Silk Road, which is a black market rug and I believe it was passport selling website. So I'm sick of hearing the argument about rugs. Trump influenced the denial of the bipartisan border bill. He pardoned a founder of a black market of illegal rugs. I'm trying not to say it. And Social Security's identity fraud. So I'm just sick of hearing this argument about rugs when he clearly doesn't have Americans' interests.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Hey, I know that you've been hanging out for a while and haven't gotten much to say. Is there anything else that you would like to say before I swap you out for another friendly?
Yeah, I'll go for it, man. So another thing I wanted to touch on is I don't see a lot of talk about the possible what's the word for it? Destruction of the public education system.
Yeah.
I think that needs to be talked about a lot more. If a lot of people in my city, if there wasn't a public schooling option, they would be uneducated. And I think that would be an interesting thing to hear some Trump supporters speak about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And we will get into that. But thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening.
Yeah, of course, man. You too.
Thank you. Guys, W's in the chat for Michelle. Michelle sent a $5 donation and said podcast. I'm not sure what podcast, kinda. I guess this is somewhat podcasty. But W's in the chat for Michelle for that $5 donation. Thank you so much for that $5 donation. Guys, that means that now we only have $189 left in the nightly donation goal. Let's see here. AJ, are you a Trump supporter?
So first, I'd like to say I like the name Santana Jones.
Thank
My
you.
last name is Jones, and if I would have thought about naming one of my kids Santana, I probably would have. So somewhere down the pipeline, we might be related. We'll talk about that later. But
we will talk about it later.
Yeah. So I want to say it this way, and just let me finish so you can understand why I'm saying I support Trump.
Okay.
Okay.
You got the floor.
I support Trump for him to continue what he started in his first term.
Okay.
Which is to bring out the racist individuals within our country and all of the corruption and stuff that he's been a part of for so long, in order for us to hopefully join together as a people in this country and say we can't have this from anyone within our country. Let's do better. So did I vote for him? No. Do I think he's going to do good for our country? I pray that he does, but the history of him says he's not going to. So I support that the and you go through all of the isms that he's shown, that he's brought out, the racist people, all of those things. And I just hope, I'm supporting him, that those people continually think that no one's watching, no one's paying attention, no one's looking at them and everything else. So we can know, like, like your neighbor that's down the street from you that you thought was cool, but he's waving the Trump flag and saying all of these things that just sound racist or whatever, that you'll know when all of a sudden there is no more Trump to be had and everything else. He can't turn around and say, "Nah, I'm not racist." You're like, bro, you literally was there. You was supporting this or supporting that. You was just a crook like anyone else. So do I think Trump's going to be good for our country? He's not good for us for no other way than he allowed all of those sleeper cells of racism, racist, and everything else to now think that they have a voice and can be on the limelight, like America's going back to those things. So my support for Trump isn't it's not in a positive way like people would think. I hope that we can get to what, like Trump tried to say, Dr. Martin Luther King really wanted, and those who fought for us from before. So I'm leaving after that. I just wanted to say that.
Hold on. You can't.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Yeah, hang on.
Whoa. Ain't no way.
May I address that?
Hold on, Hawk. Hold on. I was gonna give it to you, but I need a clarification point on one thing. AJ, you said you didn't vote for him. Did you vote?
Yes.
Okay, who did you vote for?
I actually wrote in Bernie Sanders.
Okay, so you voted for Trump. Got it. Got it. Okay. All right, so let's do this real quick. Guys, W's in the chat for Alice. Allison sent a $10 donation towards the nightly donation goal. Allison, thank you so much for that $10. Guys, we're now only $179 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. Hawk, the floor is yours.
Okay. I would like to point out the flaw in your logic. As much as I understand where you want that to go.
Thank you so much.
There's a major flaw in your logic. It's not going to happen. First and foremost, Trump is at the top of that list, right? And what that administration is currently doing by wiping out everything and anything to do with DEI proves that point. The other thing is he's putting them in positions of power within this administration. The current Secretary of Defense is racist and against all of this DEI stuff and everything else or whatever, and they're wiping it out of our organizations, at least at the federal level, within government jobs and military jobs and the like or whatever. The problem with your logic is if he puts racist people in positions of power in our government, it's going to be embedded in our everyday life. And before we can fix it, like what you're believing is going to happen, a lot of people will suffer. And we can avoid that by getting them out of there in the first place. So as much as I understand where you think that's going to go, because he's doing so much and he's putting the type of people that you're talking about in positions of power in our government, that's never going to happen. And all it's going to do is make us a much, much, much more racist country than we've ever been, because they're going to put it back into law like it was before the Jim Crow era.
Right. So Hawk, the reason why I'm talking about this today instead of a year from now, and I'm saying it this way right now, and I'm jumping into different people's lives trying to get that part out, is so that hopefully the citizens will start trying to start the process of doing what you said, which I totally agree with. If we don't get them out now, it can be harder for us later.
Hold on one second. Yeah, Lola, you have a echo. It's not you, AJ. Lola, you have an echo, so you just need to swipe out. Don't leave, just swipe out, come right back. It'll fix the echo. AJ, finish what you were saying.
So I'm on board with everything you're saying. I just got up here real fast just to say that. I just jumped into the live, heard a couple of things, and was like, I'm gonna say Trump and just go in there and say some stuff real fast. But I'm about trying to figure out how do we go about impeaching him right now? How do we go about stopping these things right now?
So I want to say something that Hawk didn't say, right? Because I got a different bone to pick with you. All right. You voted for Trump. You said you didn't vote for Trump. But writing in Bernie. Wait, wait.
I hear
but
what you're saying. And
writing
everybody
in
says
Bernie
that way.
Sanders is just like voting for Jill Stein, just like voting for RFK. Like none of them were viable candidates. Don't get me wrong. I wanted Bernie Sanders. I've always wanted Bernie Sanders. He's awesome, but not AJ. I'm sorry. Where do you live?
I live in
Not
California.
city. Okay, so you're in Cali. You're in Cali. Okay. What was the thought process behind the protest vote?
So for me, just so you know, I've over the last since about 20 outside of Obama, that was the last time I voted for a major party. I've really been trying to make this push on if you have half the country complaining about the other half of the country the way they vote, and no one's wanting to sit in the middle and say, hey, we need to look at something different, then why? So I'm not saying I wouldn't have voted for Kamala. I did everything I could to support her to get other, or Miss Harris, as like I like to say. I got everything that I could to get other people to vote for her. She just didn't win my vote from me. My wife voted for her. All of my kids voted for her who could vote. A lot of other people did. I just didn't. And wait. Hear me out. Watch this. I'm in California. Kamala, Miss Harris won California, right? Right? Am I correct?
Yeah, you are.
So my vote wasn't for her, but my vote didn't hurt her. It only hurt her in the popular vote, correct?
Correct. Hey, so quick question.
Be honest with me. Come on, Mr. Jones.
Quick question.
My vote only hurt her in the.
Quick question.
Right.
How many people do you think that voted that way had your same thought process?
And that I know?
No, just in general.
I think people who has certain views of, I don't want to vote for these major parties. I'm not going to keep playing this game. I didn't vote for them, so I voted for the other party. So be it. But I can't sit back at the end of the day as a 51-year-old man and say, hey, I voted for Kamala, even though I didn't want to vote for her. I wanted this person or this or this or this. But if I have to pick a poison, I'm gonna pick, and I'm saying it that way for a reason, not because of her, but because of the two-party system I don't like. If I have to pick one, I'm gonna vote for one in hopes that this happens or this happens. Down my ticket the rest of the way, you'd ask me that, you'll be like, oh, okay, you should have just voted for her then. But
no, I'm not.
No. But for me, there's other values of why after Barack, I've been writing Bernie in. It's something about when he came up to Chico State when I was there and I had a conversation with him, that outside of Obama, I'm gonna say him until somebody and trust me, I'm hoping she runs. I'm trying to somehow get to where she do. There's a certain lady from out of Texas I wish would just step up because I think she'd be great for us.
There's not many times that I'm lost for words, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, you saying that you hope that Donald Trump basically pushes all the chips to the center of the table with the races and all this other stuff. It's absolutely mind-blowing. But you saying that you didn't, I'm sorry, your vote is in the same category as any. Donald Trump won the popular vote by 1%, right? A little over 1%. But there were enough votes around the margins, because even though Donald Trump likes to talk about, oh, it was a landslide victory, right? We won all the swing states and da 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 da. The simple fact of the matter is the swing states were razor thin. They could have gone either way. And so my problem, I guess, is not necessarily with you, AJ, but it's people that had that same thought process as you, right? People who said, I'm going to vote. I heard someone say today, I voted for Jill Stein because I support Palestine. And then you turn around and you look and see what happened today with Donald Trump supporting Bibi Netanyahu and saying that they're going to, the United States is going to take Gaza and all this other stuff. And the guy was like, oh, well, you know, the simple fact of the matter is that Kamala Harris wouldn't have done any better when Kamala Harris was offering a 2-state solution, right? So I hear what you're saying. I don't think that it's valid because of other reasons, right? I mean, Hawk has clearly articulated those other reasons. But man, I just like
Okay, all right. Okay, can you hear me? Listen to me for a second.
Okay.
I actually voted for Ms. Harris. I was saying that to get you to go to where you went. And there was a reason for it, because a lot of people will get up here and they'll say they did this, did that, and everything else. I'm in California. I knew she was going to win California. I was out here pitching for her. I live in a very red county, so I'm out here talking smack to everybody. I ride a motorcycle. I'm playing what's his name song, F Donald, you know who, the whole way everywhere I'm at, making sure people know I voted for her. I'd always vote for her. I'm a independent who stays on the Democratic side just because. I'll show you my voting thing. I'm not lying to you. And my wife will tell you who I voted for. And I'll have her come over here and tell you. So that's the person who's writing in the comments online. And here's the reason why.
Not your wife stalling you out.
Yeah,
good. You know what? Wife, when he get off of here, get him, because whatever.
Here's why I did that. It's because sometimes I step inside of these people's platforms and stuff, and what they do is sometimes it's us meaning us people who's saying, oh, this. And I was listening to you guys, and you guys were like, oh, people vote against their own interest, and they do this, and they do this, and all these other things. And the reason why is I'm in a state that people from certain states hate. They hate California. That liberal state, that this. And I sit back and I go, I lived here. I lived in Arizona. Is Arizona a liberal state? No, it's a red state. I lived in Delaware. I lived in North Carolina. So I've lived in a few states in the United States. I've also lived overseas.
Okay.
And
if I can interrupt the monologue for a second.
Go ahead.
No. Hold on. Here's the problem with this whole scenario, right?
Mm-hmm.
What you did was on TikTok we call trolling, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's disingenuous. And
Mm-hmm.
what you're doing when you do that is you hurt the overall argument that we have, because then they will take somebody like you and say that everybody on the left is just lying like you just did. So you're actually hurting our movement by playing that game. What you did was disingenuous. I will go on to any space and speak my truth and have data and sources to back it up. And that's all I need. I don't need to fake that I did this or did that or whatever. Just speak your truth. Doing what you're doing is actually hurting our argument.
So did you notice how when I do, and I did it on purpose. And let me tell you why. Notice I got up here and I said, I support.
That's not helpful. So just the fact that you did it on purpose does not make it a good thing, sir.
So let me ask you a question. Hawk, what state do you live in?
I'm in the Midwest.
Okay. Mr. Jones, what state are you in?
Where do I live? Or no, I live in Washington State. Let's stick to that.
So all of our states, the demographics in which we go outside and sit at a coffee shop and have conversations with are all different, correct? And when we're on this platform, we see different things and everything goes differently. So if one person comes in, goes one direction, but comes back and brings it in, if the other side says, oh, this is what they all do, that's what they always say already. So whether I came in here just to state something to get a conversation going, and I said, right after I said what I said, oh, I'm gonna leave, and you said, no, stay. You asked me to stay. I was just gonna come in and say what I said and bounce. You asked me to stay, and this is literally me.
But he didn't
jumping
ask
in
you
here.
to lie. But he didn't ask you to lie.
Watch
See,
this.
these are
How many-
conversations.
let me ask you a question.
Hold on a second. Hold on a second. No. Stop with the questions for a second. These are conversations and debates have rules. Once you lie, you have broken the rules of the debate and you lost, right? What I'm saying is coming in here under cover of, I did this just to see if I can spark an argument or whatever. That does not help the overall situation. That's what you're not seeing, right? Well, however you justify it for yourself to do what you did, it's not a good thing.
Debbie's in the chat for K used her monthly kick to get him up out the paint.
Of course
So
we
he
did.
is gone, right? I mean, the simple fact of the matter is, thank you for the corgi. Simple fact of the matter is like, I don't like trolls, right? I don't like trolls. I have no interest in trolls. But the funny thing is, when you are on Late Nights with Santana, you don't have to be a troll, right? You can actually come in and say your piece. But to Hawk's point, like, we have no interest in people being disingenuous. I guess the person that was just here actually took off running. Guys, W's in the chat for Gene. Gene sent a $1 donation saying AJ has to be related to Bloomberg. He absolutely has to be. Absolutely has to be. Thank you so much for that $1 donation from Gene. Guys, we're only $178 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. Guys, if you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are a Trump supporter and you would like to actually join the conversation, you can request up. This is Late Nights with Santana. This is not sparring with Santana. What that means is that we are talking to everyone. If you want to actually join the panel and actually speak to any of the topics in the background, please feel free to go ahead and request up. We will rotate in and get a few more friendlies in here. I know we have Gosh.
Oh, dude. It's Gray Fish, but I tried to change my name to it and it auto-corrected. Now I'm stuck with this for till tomorrow.
Okay. I'll ask, are you a Trump supporter?
Hell no, dude. There ain't a planet in any universe in all the multiverses where I would ever vote for Donald Trump.
Okay. All right.
Never been a time. Hawk and I paneled up a couple times. I just wanted to jump up here and say, one, I'm a huge fan. And number two, I don't know. I thought that the Republican Party was like the party of no more wars and stuff. And now apparently the president of the United States wants to send troops over to freaking Gaza. I also thought that they were the party of like cheaper goods. And now they want to tariff any country that speaks negatively towards Donald Trump, which, you know, will only raise the cost of things. I thought that they were the party of Christianity, which ultimately I thought was empathetic towards the immigrant and the people trying to find better for their lives. But apparently we have a war on immigrants. And I thought they were the party of less government, but they're totally okay with the government controlling the medications and the surgeries Americans get, the conversations they have in their doctor's offices. So, you know, it seems to be a total, I don't know, grift. And a lot of people are suckers right now. And they're only going to become more suckers, Santana, as time goes on.
Yeah, no, listen, I think there's a lot of people that are starting to regret. And I think that even more so, that's why a lot of people don't actually have the ability to defend their position, right? There's a lot of Trump supporters that don't want to actually speak on Trump, and they get emotional about Trump because there's a sunken cost, right? They've made MAGA and Donald Trump their entire personality, and they believe that Donald Trump is going to save them. Save me, Trump, save me. And now Donald Trump is doing the complete opposite. He is ripping away so many different things. And they're sitting back saying, you know what? Trump supporters right now, they're the meme, right? They're the meme with the dog who's sitting in the kitchen with everything on fire. And they're like, it's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
That's what Trump supporters are right now, because the country is burning in multiple ways. You have an unelected billionaire who has access to all of our money, all of our social securities, all of the, you have 5 young men, 19 to 24 years old, that has access to the payment system. You have Donald Trump trying to take other countries, whether it's, Canada should become the 51st state, or you know, I want Greenland. He wants to take different areas. You have the most, you got RFK that just got confirmed. It looks like Tulsi Gabbard is going to be confirmed. Pete Hegseth is stripping away any and everything from the United States military that is not relative to being straight and white.
Can I just go off for a second? One more time.
With just a quick thing, guys. If you're here, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000 likes. Also, let's get the shares up to 350 shares. And if we could, please knock out the live gift goal. It'll help get more people in here. It's the Tiny Dinies. So if you guys don't mind, please do so. Go right ahead.
So, one, the Gaza argument. If you hear MAGA trying to argue in favor of what Donald Trump said today, you need to check him on G side. And you need to look up the UN resolution in regards to G side, because the ethnic removal of people doesn't have to be from the earth. It can just be from a place. And what we're talking about doing is removing not only an ethnic group, but also a religious group in some capacities with taxpayer dollars from where they live to somewhere else. That is G side, folks. The second thing is Elon Musk hacking into our treasury systems is probably
whoa. He wasn't hacking. He was given access. So that wasn't a hack. He was given access by the Secretary of the Treasury.
He backdoored it. So he did backdoor it, which has now led to many issues because by backdooring it, he leaves things vulnerable. I don't know if anyone knows this, but if you work in government systems, you're not allowed to use USB cards in any way, shape, or form.
Oh,
plug into a government's. Yeah, well, guess what? That's what he was using. So, you know, cybersecurity is a real thing. Elon Musk doesn't appear to believe in it. So whether or not you think Elon Musk is safe doesn't really matter, because in the long run, is our data safe? Well, not anymore. And the other thing is, if Donald Trump plans on removing federal workers, including CIA agents, who also just got the forced resignation or the voluntary resignation letter, he sent that to every CIA agent, Santana. And if you haven't seen that today, that was just released a couple 8 hours ago. You can fact check me on that.
Wait, say that again?
Yeah, so Donald Trump and his happy little band of shit cronies sent an email out to the CIA stating that they would have the eligibility to participate in voluntary retirements starting immediately. So basically, like, we're not going to be safe, folks. Like, y'all think, MAGA, if you're listening, you're not safe. And it's not that you're not safe because you're dumb, but it's also you're not safe because Donald Trump is making you not safe by firing career employees who have protected you for decades. So welcome to it.
Did he say the entire?
Yeah, I saw the
workforce?
I said he sent that to the entire CIA. I'll double check it again, but
No, I'm looking right now. I'm looking at the Reuters article about it.
Yeah,
the entire workforce.
The entire workforce. He sent that resignation letter to.
The entire CIA.
Yes, he knows. Like, he knows he's like guys, this is we're not playing anymore. This is we're not safe. You're not going to be safe from internal threats or external threats. Global threats. That's what the CIA is designed to protect us from. We're going to be unsafe.
Smokes. Jesus.
And I just want to know how he's going to blame a T attack on the libs after he does all this, because he can't.
That is yeah.
Well, sorry to drop that news, buddy. Didn't mean to suck the air out of the room. My bad.
No, that's good information. That's crazy. That is absolutely insane. Okay.
Everyone should follow Wired Magazine on whatever social app you have if you haven't done so. And this is my last bit of advice, simply because they are the tech magazine that grew up in the 90s like I did and believes that technology is art and freedom, not a method of control. And they will continuously report fairly, unbiasedly, and give us as much info as possible. So that's where the Elon Musk news story broke, was through Wired Magazine, and now Gizmodo also has been at play as well.
He said Wired Magazine. I see certain
Wired.
people are Wired.
Wired, yes, sir.
Okay, Wired. Yeah. No, that's insane. Okay, yeah, thank you so much for thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you very much, y'all. Have a good night.
You as well. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 150,000 likes. If you are a Trump supporter and you would like to actually come up, go ahead and request up. This is Late Nights with Santana. This is not Sparring with Santana. This is Late Nights with Santana. Just a quick moment for a quick plug, guys. We are live on YouTube and Twitch right now. What up, YouTube? What up, Twitch? I see you guys. We are in the building. If you're not following me on all the social medias, make sure you're doing so, right? I'm on Twitch, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Blue Sky, and I am on Instagram. And I post some pretty cool, fun stuff, or I try to, on Instagram. So make sure you're following me on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, all of those wonderful things. Keep tapping the screen. If you are interested in actually getting onto the panel, go ahead and request up. If you're interested in joining the panel, go ahead and request up. We'll get a few more people in here, and we will keep it moving. Guys, get the likes up. Also, guys, we still have $178 left in the nightly donation goal. There's 674 people hanging out here. So if 178 people send just $1, we can close out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all of the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. I think it's pronounced how I know.
It's just H. Rutger. It's just my
H. Rucker. Okay,
name.
I remember we spoke. Okay, H. Rucker.
Yeah.
H. Rucker. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
As another guy on this app would say, is shit's getting weird. Part infinity. Where would you like to take this conversation?
I wanted to thank the last guest for his really concise summary of the different hypocrisies that I've seen from the administration. He drew all those direct contrasts between what the parties and what the administration said it would be and what it's actually been. And I like that. But my primary concern up until I heard the CIA thing, I guess, was Elon Musk. And I feel like Trump's bombastic behavior on world affairs is a distraction in a big way, whether it's intentional or not, from the way Elon Musk is challenging how the government works in real time. And I have read some of those cybersecurity concern articles. There was one from a website for cybersecurity professionals called, like, I think it was OCS or something, but is one I haven't heard of, but it's for that profession. And they were talking about just what the last guest said, that, you know, that this group from Doge plugging in external drives that you're really not supposed to plug into the government is a risk for introducing malware. And in general, just the fact that they have claimed so much access that it's probably not legally theirs is a concern. But yeah, there's this possibility of them, you know, having something nefarious either on purpose or accidentally just get in and F up a system that handles all of the payments to people and organizations that run the country. Like, it's so incautious and so dangerous and so seemingly sinister. And the last thing I wanted to point out was just the over fixation on US aid is silly to me, because it's less than 1% of the government's budget to do foreign aid. So these I can't really right now tell sometimes what's a distraction versus an actual problem. I feel like the Gaza thing, no matter what its intention was, is a huge problem. I feel like the Doge thing is definitely a problem. And then I feel like things like the Department of Education may be a distraction, just because a lot of that was congressionally set up. And so I think it might be harder to just get rid of than they're saying. So yeah, I guess my main theme is I can't always tell what's the real threat, but all of it feels very threatening. And I'm trying to weed through what is just silliness on Trump's part versus what's actually going to hurt us the most and what we need to push back against.
Yeah, no, listen, I will say this, because there are smoke screens, right? We know for a fact that everything isn't viable, right? And there's a lot happening to distract us, but I think the simple fact of the matter is that we have to be vigilant, and we have to be aware of everything. We can't just let certain stuff slide. I was listening to AOC speak today, and she was talking about, like, how do we prepare? How do we make sure we're ready? We have to stay engaged. We have to be focused, and all of these other things. So you're absolutely right. But I'll say, I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I'll say that. Not a conspiracy theorist. But there are a lot of things that are lining up that I find interesting. And
What's an example that you are thinking about?
well, the one thing that I will say is the simple fact that Elon Musk, we know the inner workings, not necessarily inner workings, but we know that Elon Musk has connections with other foreign governments, whether it's the Chinese government, whether it's the Russian government, whether it's his connections to the German political party. Like there's multiple connections that he has, right? So I worry about Elon Musk a lot. I'll just leave it at that.
I also worry about his severe conflicts of interest with the role
Mhm.
that he's in. Like
Mhm.
obviously his businesses involve government contracts, and it's more than weird to have the person who has such contracts and like gets so much money from things with the government to have his hands on the spigot of government funding, or to have his hands in any government business the way it is. I thought I read somewhere that the conflict of interest stuff could be something that you could consider illegal behavior or get him on, but I don't know how that would be done or what would happen. But he worries me a lot more than Trump himself, if I'm being honest.
Well, I mean, the
Well-
simple fact of I'm sorry, go ahead, Hawk.
I was just going to say to that last point, and several of the things that she has mentioned, much of this stuff is either unconstitutional or illegal. The problem that we face is until it's hashed out in the courts
Mhm.
and the ultimate viability is determined,
Mhm.
people will suffer. So however minuscule we might think a certain thing is or whatever,
Mhm.
some segment of the population will suffer because of that until we can prove through the courts or whatever that it was illegal or unconstitutional in the first place.
Mhm.
That's the concern. They're not following normal policies and procedures that the government would do, or Elon Musk wouldn't be there in the first place.
Hawk, that's what I was just about to say. He doesn't even have clearance. He
Right.
doesn't.
Right.
He doesn't have
Wait.
clearance.
Wait, and the organization that he is a part of is not an official organization. It's
It
an
is not.
advisory panel for the president. It has not been approved and certified by Congress, so it's
No.
not an official part of the government.
No.
Right.
So
Santana?
how are they even
terrifying.
doing these things?
Yeah. Hey guys,
Thanks,
let me read these off real quick, and then I want to make sure that I do a couple of different things as well. Guys, W's in the chat for. Let me run through these. W's in the chat for Hilda. Hilda sent a $5 donation saying blessings from India. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that $5 donation. You are absolutely insane for that. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. W's in the chat for Felicia, who sent a $2 donation saying, thanks for allowing me on your panel. Thank you so much for coming up. You're amazing. W's in the chat for Alfred, who sent a W's in the chat for AJ, who sent a $5 donation saying, keep this show going. AJ, yeah. All right, AJ. And W's in the chat for Sonia. Sonia sent a $5 donation saying, with El Salvador taking prisoners, we can just say it out loud, modern day slave trade. I'm sick of the whole immigration inhumanity. Sonia, that's another thing that I have been saying as well. It literally is. It's slave labor. It's slave labor. There's no way around it. It's slave labor.
Hello?
Yeah. But anyway, guys, that means we only have $161 left in our nightly donation goal, and we have about 615 people hanging out. So if 161 people send $1, we can knock that out. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the bio. If you are someone that wants to join the panel, if you are a Trump supporter and you want to get in the box, go ahead and request up. We will give you the space to actually have this conversation. You are more than welcome. If you are friendly, get in the box. I'm going to rotate some of these friendlies out, and we will do all the wonderful things. H. Ruckers, is there anything else that you wanted to add before I switch you out? Oh, also, welcome in, Jessica Raid. Welcome in, Jessica Raid. Is there anything else you want to add before I swap you out?
Yeah, the last thing is that I totally agree 100% with what Hawk just said, and that's what I grapple with the most, other than trying to decipher what's the greatest threat, is trying to understand how to handle the damage that's being done to these vulnerable populations who are being scapegoated in the meantime, and knowing that most of us would think to go through the normal channels of government, but the harm is happening by people not going through the normal channels.
Yep.
And that is a conundrum I have yet to fully grapple with, other than I email my representatives and stuff. But I am always happy to hear if anybody else has a theory on the best way to address this horrible collateral damage to vulnerable people in the meantime. That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, no, listen, I think that there's it, I don't. I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't. I wish I did. I genuinely wish I did. But I don't at the moment, and I don't know what to do.
I feel like just
People.
simply like having like publicly saying as many times as we can that this isn't normal or acceptable, and like saying that to legislators, it may not do anything right away, but I do feel like the more we do it, the more other people are emboldened to say the same things, and public opinion has some kind of effect. But I don't think it's enough, but it's the only thing I can think of at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks,
Absolutely.
guys.
Well, hey, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you, and stick around because we're going to figure out something together. I'm going to lean on you to figure out something with me, and we're going to figure it out together. Okay?
Yeah, thanks a lot for everything you're doing. Have a
Thank
good
you.
night.
You as well. Let's see here. Tic Tac, what up? Eve,
Hey,
what
what's
up?
going on?
Or Eva?
Hi, Santana. I spoke to you a while ago. I'm also from Seattle. And
Hey, from Washington with me. Okay.
yes, Kirkland, Washington, Holmes Point.
Mm.
I have a different perspective.
Okay.
I was born in a third world country, a dictatorship, and I lived there until my early 20s. And I see this differently. I see that we are being prepared to be dominated for the next century.
Mm.
Yes, and it's strategic, it's planned. We are focusing on the little noise, but you're not looking, a lot of people are not looking at the big picture. And the big picture is every branch of government at every single level is being purged in a very surgical way. It's targeted, concise, and with the Supreme Court and Congress being lackeys, I pray for this country because what they failed to understand by basically by failing to exercise their own constitutional duties to stop this madman, they think that they just feed the rest of us to the monster. But what they don't understand, a hungry monster, when he eats everybody else around, he will come after the feeding hand too. That's what they failed to understand. The judiciary is not safe. Congress is not safe. All you need to look at is how he takes down any of them that dare to stand up to him or criticize him. That's dictatorship. There are no boundaries. There are no allies. There are only either you clap when I'm standing or you get taken down and out. And that's the scary part.
Right.
Everything, I'm concerned that in 4 years, either he may not leave or they're trying to set the stage so no other Democrat will ever be. We already had just a two-party system, so they want to make sure that it becomes a Republican system. When I say Republican, I don't mean the old Republican Party. I'm talking about him being in charge for himself, by his cronies. And the problem with such power is they tend to never be satisfied. The more they get, the more they will want to get. It's the big freedoms that we are concerned about now.
Right.
It will come to a time, the little freedoms, such as getting together and having a conversation freely, may not be possible at a certain period of time. That's basically silence first your own side, then silence your critics, and then follow by smothering every single other person. That's why in Russia there are no justice. There's no justice. That's why in North Korea there's only one strong man that speaks. It's bigger and scarier than we think. I'm sorry to say this, but I saw it coming. I have a nephew who's a Muslim immigrant who voted for this guy. Now they're going into mosque. Although he's a US citizen, but he may be caught, basically enwrapped from his prayer on Friday and taken. And he won't even realize what's coming because he thinks, oh, he's coming after the gays.
Gay people.
Gay people.
Yeah.
He's coming after the transgender because he's thinking that all he needs, he's only thinking about what would be taught those non-believer, but he doesn't think about what he is losing.
Yeah, no, listen, I think there's a lot of people that have a lot of people. I heard someone say that if you didn't care about certain stuff until it started happening to you, then you're the problem. And I think a lot of people think, that, oh, it's not me. It's not me.
Yeah.
This does. And I think that's the thing that with Black people that bother us the most when it comes to the Hispanic community or the ones that were willing to vote for Trump. And, now because there are certain people turning around saying, hey, why isn't the Black community standing up for us? But the simple fact of the matter is, we saw this coming and we know how things will go and how things unfold quickly. And so that's just that's a whole thing. Real quick, hold on a second. User, are you a Trump supporter? I'm going to send you a request to come off mute. User, are you a Trump supporter?
No, I came over here from Jessica's live. I spoke to you one time over there when you were over there a few months back. They called me Pawpaw over there.
Okay, Paul. Yeah, I remember you. What happened to your profile picture?
Yeah, I don't know. My daughter took it off, whatever.
Okay.
But, what I wanted to say, we don't need no more evidence of what his intentions is. He once said in one of his rallies that we ought to try that 16-year presidency here.
Mm-hmm.
He actually said that in one of his rallies. And so what he's done in the last couple of weeks, he's got the intentions of not staying going to stand in power even after his term is up.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the process, he's doing what it takes. He's doing what it takes. But what's gonna only be able to stop him is the folks that didn't vote for him, because all of them that voted for him, he can do all the terrible things, and he would still maintain 60 or 70% of them. So it looks like he's on the move with this intention of being a strong man and keeping power. But all we can do is I guess keep our fingers crossed, hope that enough people turn against him.
Yeah, no, listen, Paul. The one thing that I will say for sure, the one thing that I will say for sure is that there's a saying, there's some truth in every joke, right? And him, quote unquote, joking, he's joked about keeping power multiple times. And I know for a fact, if he could keep power, he will keep power. So I completely agree. I completely agree with both of you as far as what you're saying. This is what I want to do real quick. Kang,
Sir,
you know what I just realized?
what's that?
I just realized that even though you are a Trump supporter and Trump supporters are more than welcome up here, you are not. You are not. I let you up for, I forgot that you are not welcome up here. As a matter of fact, mods, if we could, let's just block him. Let's just block Kang.
That's
No
the
need
way
for
to
him to
do
even
it.
come back.
There
No
you go.
need. Yeah. Guys, W's in the chat for Susan. Susan sent a $5 donation. Thank you so much for that donation, Susan. You are so appreciated. W's in the chat for Erica. Erica sent a $10 donation. Thank you for the donation, E. I appreciate you. And W's in the chat for Maria. Maria sent a $2 donation saying thank you for continuing your advocacy. Maria, you are absolutely the sweetest. And W's in the chat for Zoe, who sent a $5 donation saying thank you for your advocacy. Zoe, you are absolutely too kind. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, guys, that means we are now only $139 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. So if you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Donald Trump and you would like to actually come up, this is Late Nights with Santana. So if you are interested in joining the panel, go ahead and request up. We have room on the panel for anyone that is interested in having a conversation. You are more than welcome to join. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Go ahead and get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Let's go ahead and get the shares up to 500 shares as well. And last but not least, Eva, is there anything else that you wanted to say before I swap you out, friend?
The next 2 years will be critical because he is laying so many foundations, and the courts needs to step up. Hopefully, there'll be enough common sense in the Supreme Court not to let him keep basically sinking the country. But that's the part that scares me. The fact that he's immune.
Well, and see, the thing that I'll say is that us hoping that the normal checks and balances are going to be in place and they're going to keep us safe. That's
there are no more checks and balances. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I like that's the part that I struggle with. But Eva, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. I'll try to send some donation. Something happened right today.
Okay, thank you so much.
But I'll work on that. Okay.
No worries, friend. You have a wonderful evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Santana, before you make your shift, you missed an IRI raid.
Oh, yeah. So I welcome in IRI raid. I apologize. I saw that and I saw you say welcome, and I appreciate you for doing that. And I meant to say welcome in IRI raid. Welcome in, guys. Keep tapping the screen. If there's anybody else, we're rotating in. If you are a friendly and you want to join the panel and talk about any of these things that are happening, if you are a Trump supporter and you want to actually join the panel and talk about these things that are happening, you are more than welcome. This is Late Nights with Santana. This is not Sparring with Santana. So that means that all are welcome. And W's in the chat for Justin. Justin sent a $10 donation saying, I appreciate all your time and effort to enlighten and inform people. Justin, you are so kind. Thank you for that $10 donation. Like, that's absolutely amazing. Guys, that means we are only $129 from closing out our nightly donation. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Is it Neville? Nivell, are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely not.
All right, Nivell, what would you like to add to the conversation? I mean, there's a lot going on. What would you like to speak to?
Well, first and foremost, man, good to see you, Hawk. Good to be on the panel with you again.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you.
Hold on one second. Hey, Paul, I'm gonna mute you because you're giving a little bit of feedback, but don't go anywhere because I want you to hang out with me a little bit longer. Okay?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yeah. So it's funny enough. I requested up right before the Ava lady came up,
Mm-hmm.
and my issues are similar to her. She has a different outlook, but I think that we are looking at this stuff. Well, the last couple people mentioned it. I think we're looking at stuff all wrong. I feel, and you said it to an extent, that you're not a conspiracy theorist, and neither am I. But when things point to a certain thing, like I feel like although we haven't lived it, we've seen this movie before, that he's trying to create so much civil distrust and
Mm-hmm.
civil unrest so he can, and he's dismantling the whole system within.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that is for any other reason but for him to stay in power. And so to me, that's, I don't want to, I sound like a conspiracy theorist when I say it.
I listen.
You know what I'm saying?
I'll tell you this. There's certain stuff that I only say to my wife, and I only say it to my wife when we're in the car, because I'm like, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but you know.
So my question is, right? So we understand that, like, I feel like talking about like even turning us against our allies, there's not going to be anybody to come rescue us. Turning ourselves against each other, like that's what politicians do, Democrats versus Republicans. But we're just talking about governments. And then the guy said all the CIA, like that's how we defend ourselves from the world. All that being said, my question is, when he signed those first 100 executive orders, anyways, not to go down the rabbit hole. My question is, at what point can we remove him, and what do we do? Like, because I even you said a few minutes ago, everything has to go through the courts, and it'll be some pain until they do. But he controls the courts, and nothing's getting to the courts. He should never been in office because he was a felon. But they delayed until he got like. So my question is there anything that he's done is an impeachable offense? If he is impeached, do we have like what is the move? You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like if we don't get him out, here's the second part to that, right? After you answer that or attempt to answer it, or you know what I mean? Here's the other part to that. After we get him out, we still have to, like, it's not like we can get him out. Let's say hypothetically, we can remove him tomorrow. We still can't remove the vice president who then becomes in power, and all of those things are still in place. So my question is, what do we do?
Yeah.
Arguing with these lackeys. Like, I love a good debate. I love talking to people. I love proving people wrong. I love showing people how ignorant they are. But talking to these Trump supporters on this app is not getting anywhere because they're going to see what they're going to see. But the bigger picture is, man, what do we do?
Yeah. So I can share my opinion. I definitely can. But what I would rather do, I would rather actually have Hawk do some heavy lifting for me. So Hawk, I'm going to let you take this one, but let me just read these off real quick. Guys, W's in the chat for Queen, who sent a $5 donation. Queen, you're absolutely amazing. W's in the chat for Trenton, who sent a $25 donation towards the nightly donation goal. Thank you so much, Trenton, for that $25 donation. And W's in the chat for Hilda, who sent a $5 donation saying, thank you for all that you do from Indiana. I said India earlier. Indiana, thank you so much for that. Guys, we are now only $99 away from closing out our nightly donation goal. I know we can actually do it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the bio. Santana Speaks 24 is the best way to support the live. If you enjoy the information, education, entertainment, please consider donating. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. And before I let Hawk go, is it wish you watch?
You can just call me Will.
Will, are you a Trump supporter?
I am not, even though I probably look, like, demographically speaking, like I would be.
No,
I am not.
No
anything
judgment.
But a Trump supporter.
Okay, no worries. 1 second. Guys, keep tapping the screen. We're almost at 200,000 likes. Let's get the likes up. Hawk, talk to the man.
Okay, so I'm going to take this from a different perspective because I agree with much of what you said. I don't think because we don't have Congress right now, House or the Senate, excuse me, sorry. I don't think getting rid of him or removing him is even possible right now.
Mm-hmm.
However, I might make the argument we don't want to. The
Mm-hmm.
things that he's doing are blatantly against the law and or unconstitutional.
Mm-hmm.
And I use the word blatantly on purpose because the courts will not be able to ignore that, right? So when, and this is the stuff that I was mentioning earlier, until it goes through the courts, people will suffer. That's the unfortunate part. However, the courts in the end should prove that the vast majority, if not all of what he has done so far is either against the law and or unconstitutional. And that's how we stop him. Getting him out of office is not the issue because, as you said, even if he's out of office, his minion, Vance, is still there, still with the support of the Heritage Foundation and everything else. So that wouldn't change anything. So we just have to hopefully utilize the judicial system to prove that the things that he's doing is illegal and stop him that way.
Okay,
that's how I see it.
Okay, let me ask you a follow up, and let me pose it in this way. On a percentage scale of competency, what percentage do you give us to be able to get that done? Like how much confidence do you have in the system to be able to do that? So if you
in the judicial system, I would argue 65-70%.
So that is scary, sir.
I can't argue that with you.
Okay.
I cannot argue that with you. But again, so here's the issue too, right? With the redundancy of our judicial system, right? Because it's going to start at some state level, federal court or whatever, and go up to the next level and go up to the next level and then eventually hit the Supreme Court. Out of all of those different levels, somebody is going to stop what he's doing or whatever. Like the first one that they did, I forget what it was, a court out west, I believe, or whatever, that put a stop to one of the executive orders that he wrote during those first couple of days or whatever. And I can't even remember now which one it was.
It was the one in Seattle.
Oh, it was the one with the freeze on the federal funds.
Yeah,
Exactly.
which did you see that the judge came out and put a restraining order out because she said that she thinks that he's still actually moving forward with that freeze?
Right, even though the freeze is on. So I think that, again, you're right. If it's not 100%, it seems scary. But the system, I think, can work. And my personal opinion, and this is based on the judicial system, period, but even knowing the percentage of, or having a vague idea at least, the percentage of what we would call liberal judges versus conservative judges or whatever, I still think that we're like 65-70% that the courts will do what they're supposed to do.
Yeah.
So if I may, here's the gray area. Like he operate like, so I'm a very sarcastic person, like by nature, and so I live in gray areas. So I see, everything is gray, and so I just see it. My concern is, let's say that the courts, just like they put a stop to certain things, the courts put a stop to certain things. We don't have an army to remove him. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, hold on.
Hold on. Yeah, go ahead.
So
I'm saying what?
Let's
say everything. Let's say everything goes. Let's say the 65% goes into effect, and he says, "I ain't going." Who?
But no, you missed the point of what I said, and I thought I was asking. I thought I was answering the question you asked. What I'm saying is we make what he's doing ineffective with the courts.
I get that point.
Right? Not removing him, but making what he's. And again, that 65-70% I'm talking about is the courts doing the right thing. I think.
Okay, so maybe let me
the courts will do the right thing.
Like,
hold on. 100% they'll do the right thing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I think I didn't make my question clear.
Wait, hold on. So let me do this because I have to. I absolutely have to get these off, and then I have a thought, and I want to share the thought because I don't want us to get too far away from it. But all of you, chat, each and every one of you are way too kind. way too kind, massively kind. Thank you so much. W's in the chat for Carla, who sent a $5 donation. Carla, you are absolutely way too kind. Thank you so much for that. Massive W's in the chat for Carol, who sent a $50 donation. Carol, you are so kind. Absolutely so kind. W's in the chat for Anna, who sent a $25 donation saying, keep up the good fight. Anna, you are absolutely amazing. But the person that kicked this off, and all of these came like in back to back to back, so I couldn't update this quick enough. But massive W's in the chat for Kybera, who sent a $99 donation saying, goal met. Kybera, you are freaking insane. Carol, you are absolutely amazing. Carla, thank you so much. Anna, thank you so much. All of you guys are so freaking amazing. You guys are way too kind to me. I love you all. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up. Let's keep the likes moving. Let's just keep doing all the wonderful things. I want to take it here for a second.
Can I say something real quick before you go there, Santana? If I may.
Okay. But don't. I don't want.
I'm not gonna go far. I promise. So I want to make sure that maybe my point wasn't clear. I think that everything that is being done is a smokescreen, a Trojan horse. I don't think that the laws that he's trying to do, everything that he's trying to implement, I think that it doesn't matter whether he does it or not. I think it's all systematic to gain control. So when we talk about finishing in the courts, like, I don't think that matters, because if the whole thing is up in upheaval, then it doesn't matter.
But that's where I was going. So
yeah, go ahead.
I've run this thought process on Trump supporters before. So Hawk, I'm gonna ask you to role play for me. Ready?
Sure.
So Donald Trump has an executive order, and the executive order comes back and they say, nope, can't do it, unconstitutional. Goes all the way up to the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says, nope, can't do it, unconstitutional. Who enforces that?
In the way you phrased it, I'm going to give you the answer that you want, but then I'm going to give you a secondary answer.
Okay.
The one of the jobs of the executive branch is to enforce the laws. So that's where you're going. But also in this case, because it's unconstitutional, the Congress also has some say so.
Right. Absolutely.
Because they're the ones that's responsible for making the laws and upholding the Constitution as well. Right.
Yep.
So, and again, this is the part that's scary for us, because we've never seen this before, but we have checks and balances for a reason. We have three branches of government.
We absolutely do. But
right.
So hold on,
Hawk.
Hawk, you're being too smart. You have to be a Trump supporter, right? So don't
okay.
go that far down the road, right? Stick with me for a second, because I need you to run through this.
That was hilarious, by the way.
Yeah. So, hey, Hawk, let's say they say it's unconstitutional. They come back and then they say, Trump says, you know what? I know you said that's unconstitutional, but I'm going to do it anyway. Who stops him?
Congress.
How?
Well, there's any number of ways. One, they can impeach him. Right now, I doubt if that happens.
Cool. Even if they say, all right, we're impeaching you, and he says, I'm not leaving. Who makes him leave?
I know, like, through impeachment, he would automatically be removed from office, and then Vance gets sworn in.
Right. Who makes him leave?
But hold on, because there's a couple of ways we can go about this too. If things were normal,
that's the point that I've been running this whole time, Hawk.
I know.
It's not normal.
I have to put that caveat. I hate that I have to put that caveat
exactly.
out there. But they could also invoke the 25th Amendment.
If things were normal.
Right. They should have invoked the 25th Amendment his last term. So we're still at an impasse. Like, who puts him out? Whether it's through the justice system, or what? Who puts them out?
Okay, so somebody is putting this in the chat, so I'm gonna go ahead and say it, and I hope, because I'm an old man, and so matter of fact, it was in I think one of your lunch with my creator things, Santana, where you had a young man on there who said some things about how we've gotten through all of these difficult things in the past or whatever, and I had to say, yeah, he's absolutely right. My concern is, and again, I'm a little older than most of y'all, I never thought I would have to live through that, right? Those things were in the past. So the scary part for me is now that we're living through some stuff that we thought we had gotten rid of a long time ago, and that's concerning to me. However, if we get to that point, there's nothing stopping a military coup from happening. That's one way to get it done, right? So there's a lot of different ways that it can be done. Some technically within the system that we have, but if he breaks that system enough, it may take a military coup, and that's not completely out of the ballpark.
So, like
or the law enforcement capabilities of the Secret Service arresting him, basically.
Right. And but the point that I've tried to make, and the reason why I'm like, oh, we need to go down this this thought process, is because the simple fact of the matter is all of this is contingent on norms holding and people doing things that are supposed to happen. But if Donald Trump guts the government like he's trying to do, if he guts the government the way that he's trying to do, and he actually replaces it with loyalists, right? And he gets rid of, I mean, again, he just said the entire CIA, he wants to buy out the entire CIA, right? They're trying to fire the FBI. They're trying to get all of these other people out. They're trying to get the loyalists back into the military, the ones that wouldn't take the actual vaccination. If he's laying all this groundwork and getting all of these people in place, and everyone's loyal to him, then who's gonna make him do anything? And I know it's a conspiracy theory, and I don't like those, but that's just a thought process. When people say, "Oh, well, you know, normally norms," and Trump supporters talk about, "Well, oh, this won't happen."
Here, I'll give you some reality to the conspiracy, right? So the reality to the conspiracy is that what we've been talking about or what you guys have been talking about most of the night with Elon Musk, right? It is because they knew they couldn't confirm him. He created a whole nother department and made him a special what's the, I don't know what it is. It's a special
executive assistant.
Special executive assistant, which has a lot of
assistant to the general manager. I'm sorry, go ahead.
But which gives him a lot of access without having to go through congressional approval. So the thing that he's doing is if I can't get who I want in a position, I'll have everybody else removed, and I'll just create a parallel department, and I'll put whoever I want in that.
So that's why the inspector generals got fired. That's why he wants to remove the FBI and the CIA. It's
right, but again, all of those things are either illegal or unconstitutional. So I don't think most of them will hold. How long it's going to take to correct it, I don't know. And let's use the last one you just brought up, right? The inspectors general. The president does not have unilateral control to just fire them. He's supposed to go
and that's
through
why
Congress
he's being sued.
Right. He's supposed to go through Congress and give them 30 days to vet the reasons and purposes why he wants to fire that individual. He can't just say, I fired him because I don't like him. Right. And the stuff with the Elon Musk advisory board or whatever they are, that's not an official entity of the government. Right. They have not been confirmed in any way by Congress or anything else. So legally, they don't have any rights to be doing any of the stuff that they're doing. Congress needs to step up and say that.
They penetrate our computers with USBs.
Yeah, they are. Hold on 1 second, guys. And I want to let Will be able to speak as well. But Hector, what up, though?
What's going on, boss man? I'm never here at the time that I need to be here to really hang out with the GOAT, Santana.
I don't know about all that, but listen, what did I say? We got to do the thing this month, and I mean it.
Oh, for sure.
Okay.
Absolutely. I was about to say, literally been talking with Chris. We're definitely doing it, and we're trying to get Zay involved.
He'll find out next year. Don't worry.
Crazy. I just want to do a really quick PSA. I'm making the rounds because it's our month, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. It is our month, and we're going to act as such. First and foremost, so all the fantastic Santana supporters in this live right now.
Late night crew.
Here comes the late night crew, and here comes the soft bullying from Hector himself. There are 651 people in this live right now. So I don't know what y'all hands are doing, and I don't want to know. I just know they need to get to tapping that screen. I don't care if you use one finger, 2 or 3, but get to double tapping for a little bit. What y'all hands are doing, and I don't want that screen. I don't care if you 30, 60 seconds, get to doing so. Share out the live as well. Obviously the subscriptions ain't working right now, but to those of you on PC, you can resubscribe. You can extend it. There are still methods for y'all. So please go ahead and do that as well. Send your daily heart me's, send all your love letters to his email and address. I don't care. Just show your support for your favorite Hershey's creators this month, because we are gonna need it. Because the second March 1st comes, they don't care about us, bro. So go ahead and show all the support you need to now. What you say?
When did they start?
That part. But yeah, show your creators some love, y'all.
I just want to say, hey, Hector, I'm down here.
I was finna get to the wonderful Hawk as well. Hawk, yet another fantastic individual on this app, coming up here with the good work. Tell him your praise as well. Send all the gifts, all the things. It is our month. We finna act like it.
I know that's right. We will act accordingly.
I heard that.
Hey, my wife sent me a message because she could see the box, and she said, you should let Hector come up. He's kind of cool. I was like, he's okay. He's okay.
Crazy. See, Miss Santana, your husband here ain't shit. We've had a curve back and forth because he liked to kick my ass from Erica's panels just to be petty.
That doesn't sound like anything I would do ever.
Earlier today, Brett Cross did a raid. I was in there with him. So we went to raid Erica. We said Brett and Hector raid. Santana was feeling left out. He gonna be spamming the comments Santana raid. I was like, this petty motherfucker.
Again, that doesn't sound like anything I would do. So,
Anonymous smears, right?
Yeah. Lies. Fake news. Absolutely fake news.
Fake news, man. Anywho's, I'm gonna let y'all get right back to what you was doing, but I'll be back. We definitely got to do our thing this month.
We have to just grab Zay off of Earth 312 and we'll figure it out.
I don't know what to say about that, man. He loves living in the multiverse.
All right, my brother.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. All right. So I guess to kind of run through, right, and get back to where we were, because we're talking about a couple of different things, and I want to get guys, I know there's a couple other people in the box, and I am going to make sure that we cycle out people as well. I just wanted to verify real quick. Bad goddess of bad, are you a Trump supporter?
No, is this just opposition only?
It is not, my friend. I just wanted to verify.
Amazing.
I just wanted to verify.
Amazing. I always get kicked out because it's supposed to be opposition only most of the time.
Yeah, no, this is, again, I know it looks a little different, but this is late nights with Santana. This is not sparring with Santana. So all are welcome. We had some Trump supporters up here earlier. They had issues with using TikTok friendly language. And so, they're still welcome, but
They always have an issue with that, don't they?
They absolutely do. They absolutely do. Hold tight just one moment. All right. I want to finish up the thought process, and then I want to give Will the opportunity to speak as well. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 300,000 likes. Let's get the likes up to 300,000 likes. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're scared, I promise you we won't bite. And also, we are cycling some of the friendlies out, so don't be intimidated by the panel. You don't have to be scared. It's okay. I'll hold your hand.
I'm literally a lion.
Anyway, yeah, I mean, my whole thought process is we have norms that are supposed to occur, and then we hope that the norms hold. But if everything is broken and people are replaced. That's I'll ask you guys this question. Why do you think, because I've been thinking about this one, why do you think Elon Musk has 19 to 24-year-olds working on this team doing this work with the Treasury Department? Why not get like seasoned people? Why not get people who have, has an actual background, older, mature people? Why get 19 to 24-year-olds?
They're probably groypers.
They're probably who?
They're probably groypers and diehard MAGAs, and they don't have a conscience because they haven't had enough life experience. They just want to please Daddy Elon, and so they will follow along on whatever marching orders he gives them.
I haven't done a lot
not
of
having a
research on that.
conscious part. I agree with, and one, money, and two, they're young and dumb, and they will do whatever they're told. So all you got to do is pay them and tell them what to do, and they'll do whatever they're told because they're not thinking about anything else. They're just following orders.
Yeah.
And maybe it's also a political tactic because MAGA is mainly millennial and older. I mean, I see younger boys that do outwardly say very incel things that aligns with MAGA agenda. However, they're not really outwardly very MAGA. Gen Z and Gen Alpha are not outwardly very MAGA. So I feel like politically, if he's showing that these two young boys are profiting off of his quote unquote generosity, it's going to heighten the interests of young boys to join their front.
And that's mostly who they were encouraging to apply for these government jobs, like through the Heritage Foundation's office personnel management recruiting. They were very much targeting, late teens, early 20s, mid 20s.
Because they want young, impressionable people.
Yep.
So,
and
I haven't thought about it until just now, but I think it's more about longevity because
I was gonna say that.
That's a piece as well. Okay, so let me get this off real quick, and then I'm going to let you say that, and then we're going to dovetail it into another place. My whole thought process is that you find someone that's willing to be loyalist, right? You think back, everybody, Hawk, grab your DeLorean and go way.
I ain't got enough gas to get up to 87 miles an hour.
Yeah, way back to when you were that age, right? And how I know for me personally, I was young, I was dumb, didn't really think much about anything except what was right in front of me. And you have these young men that are willing to be loyalists, right? Because they don't have that life experience. They're not thinking about, at my mature age, I think about like where I am in this world, how I want to benefit, my kids, and how I want to benefit the world, and how I want to benefit people. At 19, 24, none of that. None of those thoughts crossed my mind. And so you take people who are not only beholden to the richest man on earth, but you're just young, and you're not thinking about 20, 30, 40 years from now. You're just thinking about the next day. And I'm, kind of selling short in the sense of that, but still, like you find someone that you can actually have as loyalists to do your bidding, because if he would have went after people that were older who have more life experience, they might have some scruples and say, that's unethical. I'm not willing to do that. Now, don't get me wrong. There's plenty of slime balls out there, but I feel like for Elon, it's easier to manipulate those younger people than it would be to control and manipulate anyone older.
Right. And he's gotten screwed before with people blowing the whistle. Like that's what he wants to avoid is whistleblowers. Yep. And also people that are going to be willing to take him on in court, like what happened at Twitter after he took over, just an avalanche of lawsuits. These kids.
I'm sorry. I want to be a little bit of a devil's advocate. I don't disagree with what you just said, but just because somebody is 20 doesn't mean that they don't have morals.
No, so, you're absolutely right.
Don't get
you're
me
absolutely
wrong.
right.
That is absolutely their intent, but they still might mess around and pick a couple of the wrong ones or whatever, and that could still happen.
You're absolutely
it's entirely
right.
possible, but these guys are most likely starstruck.
Yeah,
Like,
I
no
mean,
argument here. No argument
when
at
your
all.
when your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, most people are not thinking clearly.
Yeah.
They're just not. They're not. I made horrible decisions, very immoral decisions that I still live with the consequences till this day. Because I mean, of course, I'm going to be holding myself accountable and say, you know, like I chose to make those decisions, but literally the minute my brain fully developed, something clicked within me and I was like, whoa, my whole ideology and way I viewed the world changed. So these are impressionable young men, very impressionable. And when someone that powerful, the most arguably the most powerful person on the planet is giving you a job, you know, it's exciting, it's enticing, and I see the
So
appeal. I see the appeal.
no,
Yeah.
I definitely see the appeal, and let me say this to say that, right? You want me to go back? I'm gonna go back. I say this because I think I was one of those individuals. I enlisted in the military at an extremely young age. I was 17. By the time I was 18, 19 years old, I started figuring things out. So my point is depending upon the circumstances that you find yourself in and the things that are impacting on you, I don't disagree with, and I don't know your name, Goddess. I'll call you Goddess. I don't disagree with what you just said, but I think a lot of that is circumstantial based on what's going on in your life and how you view those things. Are they impressionable? Yes. And can they be conditioned a certain way? Absolutely. But that's not an automatic thing. Some of them may recognize that the more stuff that they're being told, wait a minute, this ain't sounding right. The last thing didn't sound right. This sounds even worse. And they might get it at a much younger age than the average person might because of the surroundings that they're in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, personally though, I think it would take somebody who's like your morals would have to be really sound at a really young age. Because I mean I work with kids, and I mean the handful of kids I'm working with, I can't just like base it off of everybody else's experience. Of course, it is very much personal. However, I mean I just see the way the thought process is, and it's just not. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Or the lack
Hold on, look,
thereof,
I
the
was a
lack of a
teacher.
thought process.
Okay,
Yeah, I
hold,
was a
hold on,
teacher
hold on
for
one
15.
second. Hold on one second. Hold on one second, everybody. Real quick. I'm sorry. How do I say your name? Is it
Okay.
Nigerian?
Nigerian.
Nigerian.
Uh-huh.
Nigerian. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Wonderful. Are you a Trump supporter?
No, sir.
Okay, perfect. So we're gonna open it back up. I'm gonna let this conversation continue to flow. I don't want to get away from that other point that Navel was getting ready to make, because there's something that I want to talk about when it comes to getting younger. But go ahead and finish what you were saying, Hawk, but I want to go back to what Navel was saying, and then we'll let everybody else continue to flesh out the thoughts on the panel. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up to 300,000 likes. Let's continue to do so. Also, YouTube, Twitch, what up, guys? If you're not following me on all the socials, make sure you're following me on Twitch, YouTube, Blue Sky, and Instagram. Yes, I said and Instagram. Follow me on all the social. If you are interested in getting up, we are rotating. We're going to be rotating some of the friendlies out, so I will get more people in. If you're a Trump supporter, you get priority. You can get in the box. We will rotate people in and out. Hawk, finish your point, and then I want to go back to Navel so you can push the conversation forward to where you were going.
No, I think I finished my point or whatever. Again, I don't disagree overall with what was said. However, I'm this eternal optimist or whatever, and I believe in the better of the human condition or whatever. So however many may fall into that trap that we're describing, there are going to be some that don't. And we just have to hope that some of them are involved in that or whatever, and they can put a stop to it.
You are better than me. You are better than me.
If we don't believe in mankind, we don't believe in each other. So
Oh, that is true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was there
The better angels of our nature. That's what we got to focus on.
Yes, thank you for that. Yep.
So Goddess and Hawk were speaking on morals, and I'm just trying to take a step back out of it. And of course, we're looking from a more bird's eye view. We've kind of seen both sides of it, so of course we have them. I don't really know, just to answer the question about why they're younger when we get into the moral. I don't know if morals have anything to do with it, because I wish I was trying to sit here and think of the movie that I watched where it was from two diametrically opposed story points, where
Romeo and Juliet.
each side was the villain, right?
Romeo and Juliet.
I didn't just watch that, so that's what I'm but I had this discussion with someone earlier, and I'll tie it in, where they said the reason why we're in this position that we are is because all politicians are the same. And I said, no, that rhetoric is bad, because you can't say everybody's corrupt, so that's not reason why people are voting. My point is that, going back to the moral standpoint for the young kids, is once they're coming up in that with that mind frame of Trump is right, they're not looking at it from a moral standpoint. They're looking at it as he's the superhero and we are the villains. And we're looking at it the opposite, right? So sometimes you have to take a step back and look at it. So I wouldn't necessarily, I'm not saying that morals don't have anything to do with it. Like if you're smart enough, if you are seasoned enough, then you can get into morals. But sometimes it just comes down to perspective. And so I'm just taking I would take the morals out of it and just look at, like,
Yeah, no, I mean, so I think there's something to that, but I do think, and I hate to generalize, but I think there's something there. But I think a bigger thing that you said, which is super important.
Longevity.
Talk about that for a second.
Yeah. So, again, going back to the non-conspiracy, I'm sitting here hoping that a Big Mac takes out somebody in a certain Oval Office. You know what I mean? But I think that they're trying to get younger. One of the demographics is they know that the uneducated, he's dismantling educational systems.
That part.
So they're already attacking the educational system because most Republicans are uneducated.
Who even said it? He said, "I love the uneducated."
They thought he was talking about us.
Right.
If I can speak to that real quick, that's not new though. Republicans have been saying since the 70s that they did not want an educated electorate, right? So and I know I'm just gonna call you Nye because I can't pronounce all that. To that last point that you made though, I think it's some of both, because the morality part can't kick in because of the lack of education. Again, once the education evolves, and again, when you're immersed in those situations, you get an education, whether you like it or not or whatever, then the morality will kick in. So it's still part of both of those things, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's why I said the question was asked, why are they going younger? And then the young lady said that's why I said, for me, at this point I would remove the morality from it, because they haven't had enough life experiences to know the repercussions for their actions. Let's say, quote unquote, allegedly. Like, I don't know what their life experiences are, but that's what I was about to go there.
So thank you for that.
That's where I would go, right?
Yeah.
So that's, and going back to the education thing, that's the reason why they want them educated, so they can. And it's funny you mentioned since the 70s, but they've been dumb since the 70s. So so I can tell you, I can sit here and tell you, like I used to tell people all the time, and I'm sorry that I bounce around, but my points, I hope they land. My mom used to always tell me, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. And I can tell you, I'm gonna kill you in the nicest way possible, and you'll still love me because of how I said it to you. That doesn't change it. And so they're stupid because they're stupid. But the fact of the matter is, he's dismantling the educational system, but he's trying to get the younger people he's trying to get the younger people before, I don't know about before, but he's trying to get the younger people so they can continue what they're setting up for generations. Like somebody else came on and said, we're going to be in this for a better part of a century. Don't get our stuff together.
Yeah, so let me jump in there and say, like there's an alt-right pipeline, right? And the more the bigger thing that I was thinking when you said that, because I've thought about this, and look at the age of certain people that are being put in place, right? Whether it's Kash Patel, JD Vance, the press secretary name is like leaving my head at the moment.
Caroline Levitt.
Yes. But they are systematically trying to set this up where there are people that are younger that can actually continue what's being done. So I do think there is an actual youth movement that they're trying to target, and they're also trying to target those younger people. I mean, that's hell. Why do you think they lean on Charlie Kirk so much? Like Donald Trump loves Charlie Kirk, and I've heard him talk because unfortunately I have the unfortunate pleasure of listening to a lot of. I know my wife. Hey, baby. I know she's watching. I'm sorry. I make her listen to whenever like we can be driving in the car. I'm always listening to different stuff, and I'll listen to Trump talk. And I've listened to him speak so many times, and I know she has to get irritated about that. But I've heard him praise Charlie Kirk over and over and over about what he's doing with the young people. So I do think there's something to that where they're trying to, and I hate to say this word, but for lack of better words, groom the next Republican generation or whatever.
That's exactly
to
what
fall
it is.
under that umbrella of MAGA while keeping the party in place so it goes past Trump. I mean, so
I'll give you another something that's coming down the line. We're about to have 2 or 3 Supreme Court justices retire.
I said that.
So he can replace them.
My God.
Possibly have 5 or 6. Yeah.
We can't get them out.
No.
Oh,
Listen,
my God.
this is what I was jumping up and down about before the election, and I said this over and over and over before the election. The next person that actually the next person that becomes president of the United States will have an opportunity to actually install the possibly 2 or 3 Supreme Court justices. So that's a thing. But listen, this is
Go ahead.
let me do this real quick. Nivel and Will, I'm gonna swap you guys out, okay?
Yep. Thanks. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you guys. Go right ahead. I apologize.
That's okay. I was going to add that I definitely agree that he is building a pipeline, and that those are great points. I also believe that there are common threads between the younger, I'm assuming that they're all men that are working for Musk, and those appointing nominees, those who are being nominated to be secretaries of fill in the blank. Someone mentioned no conscience. And I do believe that the younger people who are working with him, there is an opportunity for him to shape their morals because they're impressionable. But if you think about all the people that he's nominating to be appointed or are nominated to be appointed to his cabinet, they lack morals as well. And they primarily have no conscience.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, I think that's a requirement, right? Right, Ryan? I think that's a requirement. You have to be willing to do something strange for a little piece of change.
Have you watched Game of Thrones?
Hold on one second. Right, Ryan?
I wouldn't say the issue is with the what happened last time he was in office. You had federal civil servants kind of sabotage his agenda. And I'll give you one example. If you look up the name Miles Taylor, he was the guy that wrote an anonymous op-ed to the New York Times, and he was basically saying, they're doing him and his other stooges, whatever, were doing whatever they could to, sabotage the president because they didn't agree with his policies, even though he was an appointee.
Yeah. Yeah. Max, I'm just gonna call you Max.
Sure. All right, what's up, man?
Max, what would you like to add?
First on the prompt, because I'm Iranian, and on the prompt saying taking over the Gaza, and I watched the entire speech of Donald Trump, and he was saying like they're gonna relocate people of Gaza, and I'm telling you, because the Gaza is not about the people of Gaza, it's about the axis of resistance. It will never happen because Iran doesn't let that happen. So pretty much when he says it, that we wanted to take over Gaza, it's not about people having a better life in some other countries and relocating them for having a better life in order to rebuild that demolished site, as he mentioned.
Yeah.
But it's not about that. It's about taking power away from axis of resistance, which is Iran is playing a major role on that. So Iran will never that happen, especially if they want to get into conflict with Israel. Iran, and like I said, this is like a no-brainer for Iran to defend one of its biggest power of axis of resistance. So it's not that easy as he thought to do it. So that was my point. I just want to add for the first.
Yeah, no, listen. So this is something that I spoke about again. My wife and I were in the car a lot today. So I talked to her about this as well. And the simple fact of the matter is, not only is Donald Trump, dismissing the Palestinian people, but he's inviting conflict.
Yeah.
Because they're not just gonna the other Middle Eastern countries, they're gonna push back. The H group, they're gonna push back. There's gonna be additional lives lost.
Yes.
And US soldiers possibly are gonna lose their lives as well, because it's not a US conflict. It's different. It's absolutely different, and it's gonna cause even more issues.
Agree.
Can I chime in?
Sure. Go ahead.
So if you go back to 2006 is when the Israelis kind of set this whole deal up in the Gaza Strip. Guess who the Gaza people elected democratically to run that area? It was the H group.
If you can call it an election.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean when you call it election?
That part.
They weren't given a lot of choice, and it was pushed on them. So it wasn't a free and fair election, as we would say.
Maybe up to U.S. standards, but in that part of the world, I would say it was more.
That's beside the point. That's beside the point. It was not an actual election where the people voted for what they wanted. They did what they were told.
Oh, so
that wasn't standards. That was facts.
Okay, but what about the West Bank? Guess who came in power of the West Bank is Fatah.
I don't want to have this conversation because this conversation didn't start last year. It didn't start in 2006. It started in 1947. You do not want to have that conversation.
Oh, I agree that if you look at the actual history, this territory used to be part of the Ottoman Empire, and for whatever reason, I don't understand why they took a country that's been there. Well, they've divided it up, but why they decided to give it to Israelis? Because they felt bad for World War II. I don't know.
But they didn't. You just said it. It was divided up equally amongst three different groups, and it was supposed to be, from a religious standpoint, relatively equal for Christians, Muslims, and Jews. It was relatively equal.
Well, Christians didn't win at all, man.
If you look at yes, they were. And if you look at the history, the area that Gaza now has was 5 times bigger in the beginning. And the Israelis keep pushing and pushing and pushing and doing what they've been doing, right? Somehow or another in all of that, the Israelis became a sovereign state, and yet the Palestinians have never been able to get their sovereignship. Why is that? Right. So again, you have to look at the entirety of the 75, 80-year history of this and the so-called fairness on either side. And I don't think you would come to the same conclusion that you're trying to push on us right now.
No, so I agree. If I had a magic wand, if I can go back in time, I would do things differently. But the matter of fact is we can't. We have to go off what's happening right now.
And one of my favorite comedians on this app had the best joke, best analogy, and he said what ended up happening. What was it? 2 years ago, you guys? When was this? 2 years ago? Sorry, my time perception is not good. But when the conflict arose again and got really popular on this app, okay, the analogy was that they had if you were sitting next to your relative at Thanksgiving, and what happens is your relative is perfectly eating calmly at his plate, and you look at his food and you start encroaching on his plate. And so he starts pulling his plate away from you, and he's like, hey, bro, like, you're encroaching on my plate. What you do is you keep eating his food. So what he does is he nudges you off. So what you do is you punch him in the face. So you can kind of figure out who is Israel in that situation and who is Palestine. That's the best analogy I can come up with that can give you an explanation as to what exactly happened and why this conflict arose again. They stayed in their place and in their lane and didn't really try to bother anybody, but conflict arose. So
Are you saying prior to October 7th? And what was it?
What happened on October the 5th?
I don't know. You enlighten me.
No, I don't think I will. Maybe you should look it up. Just whenever you have time, look up what happened on October the 5th. That's one of my fun facts that I love to get into, because people love to talk about October the 7th. Glazing over October the 5th. For anyone in the chat that doesn't know what happened on October the 5th,
Are you talking about
check that out.
different part of the globe with Russia and Ukraine?
No.
No.
No. It was. I'll give you a hint. It was something that
Oh, so 4 of them died. Okay, got it.
You found it? I don't know what happened. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Not sure what just happened.
May I add something, please?
Sure, go right ahead.
Let me know if I'm lagging, but because I've got a bad reception. Okay. One thing that America thinks that can bring to Middle East is that by bombing people and killing people, they can bring democracy to the Middle East, like they did in Afghanistan. 20 years, they spent billions of dollars with capital B in Afghanistan. And after 20 years, they withdrew from it. So many soldiers died, and still Afghanistan is being run by Taliban.
T-Group.
And again, in Iraq, the same. And now they want to do the same with Gaza. But I'm telling you, you cannot bring democracy or the democracy that they wanted to have it in the Western countries to Middle East by bombing over the head of people, by bombing people. I'm sorry, unaliving. I don't want to use that word.
Mm-hmm.
I know. So pretty much when he said it, I was watching his speech and he said it, that they wanted to locate those people. And pretty much he was implying that if they don't get relocated, they're going to do something else in order to relocate them, kind of coercing them to relocate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not going to happen because, like I said, Iran is backing them, and they are playing a major role in the as an axis of resistance over there. So it's not about people of only Gaza. It's about them also, but it's about like conflicting their powers.
So, Max, what do you think will happen?
That's all.
I think I may
Also,
so
I don't know. 5 months ago, Iran launched 200 ballistic missiles over Israel. I saw it with my own eyes. I was in Tehran, the capital of Iran, and then I don't want to say that Iran is going to get into conflict with Israel, because if that happens, the entire region, because Iran has a like pressure over the Strait of Hormuz, which is the strait that all the ships from Persian Gulf moving out from there, from the Persian Gulf. Yeah, these are like old tanks going from as a ship going to entire world from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and everywhere. So Iran has a power to stop the sending those ships around the world, because it's a Strait of Hormuz. If you Google it and look it up on Google, it's a like 30 kilometers narrow place that all the ships going from there, getting through from there. And if that happens, Iran vows that like closing that, and it's going to be a huge chaos entire world. I don't think that's happening, because the world cannot tolerate anything of this stuff like any war more, because it's we've seen it enough. Like 50,000 people died in Gaza. Like now, Ukraine, even America cannot afford it. So I think they're gonna come to an agreement somehow.
Yeah.
And I hope that happens.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm gonna do this. Goddess Negerin. I know I messed that up.
Nigerian, I can drop down.
Okay, I'm gonna drop you guys down. Thank you so much for coming up and hanging out. I appreciate you.
No worries. Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Thank you, brother. So I'll bounce. If I'll stick around in the comment section if you need me. I'll be back.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate that.
Thank you, brother.
All right, guys. I apologize. I wasn't watching the time. But let's go ahead and put a bow on it and talk to two more awesome people. Coffee, Ty, how are we?
Hi, how are you?
Wonderful, wonderful. What would you guys like to add to the conversation?
Yeah, so if I could go first, Coffee. Santana has impeccable timing, and my baby just woke up.
Oh, okay.
So I had a couple things to say. First things first, you mentioned earlier what happens if the military is loyal to Trump and Trump doesn't want to leave. What happens is all of the service members that Trump kicked out of the military for no other reason than because they were trans or because they were not loyal or whatever. Yeah, there's enough of those to form their own army. And they're all just as trained as the other. So that's point number one. Also, earlier we were talking about oh man, what was it? I'm sorry, I completely lost my train of thought. I don't know. I'm gonna backtrack to something else I wanted to say and see if it comes back to me.
Okay.
We keep talking about these marginalized communities that are being affected by all of this, and I panel with you at some point about this, Santana. But what's been heavy on my mind is that a lot of this marginalization that we're talking about is mostly grown-up business. And I think what really needs to be talked about as well is how we parent marginalized children through the next 4 years and potentially beyond, and set them up for a future that they may have to form on their own. They may have to reshape on their own. And so I think that that's something that we really need to be paying close attention to as well, and make sure that we're talking with our kids, because the fact of the matter is that the consequences of the next 4 years are likely to have a lifetime of consequence.
All right. Yeah. I mean, like, and I'll say this, the simple fact of the matter is like, what they're doing right now is going to have an impact for the next 50 to 60 years. Like there's no doubt about it. And so we need to make sure that we're doing those things to counteract. Again, having this conversation with my wife in the car today, it's kind of like when, C-19 dropped and how a lot of kids, how test scores went down, and there was a lot of issues with education and social skills and all this other stuff. And now they're just starting to kind of recover and, make that trek back. It's going to be the same type of situation, because the things that are happening, even if we somehow do hold on to our democracy and, get back to quote unquote normal, it's going to take a long time to actually repair. And there's going to be a lot of people affected when you talk about them trying to dismantle the Department of Education, when you talk about pulling out of like the Human Rights Council from the UN, like all of these things are going to have long lasting impacts. And it's a lot. So yeah, you're absolutely
I
right.
remember what my other point was, Santana.
Okay.
My other point was you were talking about these 19, 20-year-old kids that Elon has installed. First things first, I want to say that we see this all the time. And what this is a grooming relationship, just like you said. And it's specifically the exact same tactics that, like, generally it's older men, but just older people in general. They look for these young kids that they can manipulate and shape into an image of whatever it is that they want.
Mm-hmm.
And I really believe that is what Elon is trying to do. However, I have a different point of view than the people who were on your panel earlier. I was one of those small town, uneducated, well, poorly educated youth.
Mm-hmm.
I was surrounded by racist people.
Mm-hmm.
I barely knew a handful of Black people, grand total. Queer people just didn't come out. That wasn't a thing. And I can say confidently that even though I know I did have to do dismantling of like harmful stereotypes and stuff like that whenever I left that situation, ultimately I didn't ever have an issue with my morals.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
So that's my thing is I think that we have a habit of underestimating kids and their ability to form morality. Because yes, their prefrontal cortexes aren't completely formed, and they do make selfish decisions, but that doesn't mean that they don't have any ability to think for themselves at all.
Yep. No, I completely agree. Oh, sorry. All right. Well, thank you for coming up and sharing that, Ty. I apologize that it took so long to get you up here,
It's
and
okay.
it's at the end of the evening, but I appreciate
I knew
you.
the baby was gonna wake up. I knew it.
I'm sorry.
It's all right.
All right.
All right.
I'm
See
gonna
you later.
drop you down. Thank you. Coffee, what would you like to add?
Oh, I think I want to become MAGA. I just want to like bury my head in the sand and just pretend I don't know everything that we all know.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, pulling out of the UN, I mean, I'm where so many people are. I'm not sleeping at night the way I should.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there are thousands and thousands of people in this country that are trying to come up with a solution. And alone, we feel powerless. I think the important thing is to stick together.
Yeah. No, I was listening to Michael Cohen speak earlier while he was live, and he was talking about how we have to build community and we have to foster community, which I've been saying that over and over and over since the election, and multiple people have as well. And follow me on Blue Sky if you're not following me on Blue Sky, guys. But I use the hashtag all the time. We all we got on Blue Sky, and that's like I truly mean that. We are all we have, and we have to stick together. We need our community. We need each other, because the government isn't going to be there. Our politicians aren't going to take care of us, and we have a subgroup of the United States populace who have, I hate to say it, whatever, I'm going to say it, has brain rot, right? They have brain rot. They are willing to twist, turn, pull, whatever it takes to continue to bend the knee. And there's no point that they're going to hold him accountable. So like, we have to protect us and we have to take care of us. And no, becoming MAGA is not an option. It is not an
That
option.
was a complete joke.
I know.
It was a really bad joke. Sorry.
No, you're good.
One thing that in 2023, there were 105,000 commercial pilots.
Mm-hmm.
If MAGA's percentage is 23%, that leaves a lot on our side that could shut down flights to push our hand if necessary.
Yeah. Well,
Just
the
throwing that
thing
out.
that I've always said, Coffee, that this is the interesting thing, right? The United States is too comfortable. We're too comfortable. You see when other stuff happens in other countries, like the other countries lose it, like their people, they lose it and they fight. They fight, they take to the street hundreds of thousands of people. They protest. They don't put up with all of these other things. But we sit back and we we tweet about it. We tweet about it. And we don't hold people accountable, and we let the next politician slide through, and we forget that, oh, this person didn't vote for this, and the next election cycle runs around and we're comfortable, and that's, what, a lot of people voted for Donald Trump because it was comfortable, because they remember Donald Trump, and they didn't know Kamala Harris, but they knew Donald Trump because it was comfortable and it was safe. Even though they didn't know what happened, they was like, well, he's been president before, why not let him be president again? So
dangerous.
It's a thing.
He's so dangerous.
Yeah.
And not necessarily even just him. It's the blind faith in him and the permission.
Yeah.
That's the danger.
Absolutely. Anyway, Coffee.
I'm sorry for ending on a bad note. Throw
No.
on some dance music. Get some sleep.
Don't worry. I got something. Don't even worry about it. Don't even worry about it. I promise. Don't even worry about it. We got it. I appreciate you so much for coming up.
Thanks. Good night.
Yeah. Hawk.
Yes, sir.
What do you have for the people?
Whoo, after this, I don't know. I'm gonna go with my optimistic overview. It seems so dire, and I can't give any real answers. I don't know if anybody can, but somehow we will get through this. Somehow we will get past this. What I hope beyond just getting past this is that we can be much, much better on the other side.
That would be nice.
So that means we have to pay attention to what's going on so we know how to be better when we get to the other side. But we will finally get to the other side. Can't tell you how long that's going to take. Can't tell you how much crap we're going to have to go through in the meantime. But we will get through to the other side. I have to believe that.
Yeah, I want to be optimistic, and I try to be optimistic, but I try to be cautiously aware. I don't know, Hawk. I've been saying this for a long time. Like, best case scenario, Trump and his billionaire buddies completely rip off the United States of America and take as much money as they can and as many resources as they can. And in 4 years, we have to really build it back up brick by brick. And, it's something from there. But, and a not so positive other end of the spectrum, we end up with King Trump, right? So I don't know. Hawk.
We'll get there. Don't know how,
We'll
but we
figure
will
it out.
definitely get there.
We'll figure
and
it
I'm
out.
going to do my part, whatever that is.
I know that's right.
We will figure it out.
I know that's right. Hawk, thank you for coming up and hanging out with me. I kept you up here on purpose. I mean, I don't know if you had anything else to do, but I was like, if you up here, you're going to stay up here with me.
I appreciate you. No, not a problem.
All right, I'm going to drop you down.
All right, sir.
Guys, so yeah. Coffee said, let's end on a happy note. She said, sorry to end on a sad note. Sorry to end on a sad note. Well, you know what? We're not going to end on a sad note. We're not, because fun fact, I still have my sparring set up is, will be, has been, will always be the theme. FDT. 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 Guys, thank you for coming and hanging out with me tonight. Thank you for all the likes, the shares, the taps, the gifts, the donations, like everything. You guys have been awesomely amazing. Awesomely amazing. We've had such a wonderful night. Guys, just thank you for the universe. Thank you so much. Guys, it has been a wonderful night. Guys, we'll do it again tomorrow. We will absolutely do it again tomorrow. I want to do something interesting. Never done this before. So there's a creator that I follow. I need everyone to do me a favor. Real quick. This will be super cool. This will be fun. There's a creator that I follow. The reason why I started following him is because he does workouts, but I know that he does like lives. He's been going live and he gets like a couple people in. I'm gonna see if he'll accept me as a co-host. I'm gonna try to co-host with him. And what I want everyone to do is, if he accepts my co-host, I want everybody to just jump over to his live, right? Just jump over to his live. All you gotta do is tap the screen and then hit switch view, and it'll take you over to his live. Go over to his live, you know, give him a follow, just show some love. I just saw it and I just thought about it. I think it would be something cool to do. He's like a really small creator and I see him on live all the time. Let's just do that real quick. Let's just do that. Or actually, hold on. Yeah, let's do that real quick. Let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. See if he accepts my invite. Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, man?
Good. Listen, chat, go ahead and do the thing. All you guys have to do is click on his side of the profile and then touch watch live. So click on his side of the profile and touch watch live. It will take you over to his live. I need to see the numbers on my side drop and the numbers on his side go up. So I am over watching in his live. I need everybody on my live. We need the numbers to drop. I see them going up. Just touch on the screen, touch on his face, and then click watch live. Go over. I see the numbers going up. Go over. I need you guys to go over and do all the wonderful things, right? Go over, tap the screen, send your heart me's, give them a follow. Everybody, let's do this, right? There's still 400 something people hanging out, and that's way too many. There's still 473 people hanging out. Touch his side of the screen, watch live, get over there. Let's show him some love. Keep it going. I see the numbers starting to drop. I see the numbers on his side starting to go up. All you have to do is touch his picture, and then it'll say on the screen, watch live, and then it'll take you over to his live. Go. Come on, you guys are moving too slow. What in the world is happening? Pick it up. Don't embarrass me. Like I'm trying to do something. The first time I'm ever doing this, like do the things. If we're going to be here, do the things. I see the numbers going up. Everybody jump over, give them a follow, hang out for a minute. Santana raid, you know what we do. Santana raid, send your heart me's if you have not sent the heart me's. I see his likes are at 26,000 likes. Let's run his likes up. Let's get it up to 50,000 likes. They're still, there we go, where the people are moving over. Again, all you have to do is touch his side of the screen and then watch live, and it'll take you over from my live to his live. Hop over, Santana raid, send your heart me's, send your gift, do all the wonderful things. Run his likes up. Why is his likes are so low? This is absolutely insane. His likes are only at 31,000 likes. Keep going. Get over to his live. Show him some love. Make sure you follow. Make sure that you send your daily heart me. Tap the screen. Get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Santana raid. You know how we do. Listen, I didn't know if you were going to accept or not, but I appreciate it.
I did. I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
The first invite of the day. Oh my goodness, Santana, what's up, man? I see you doing your thing, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I enjoy, you know, I stop through your live every once in a while, but I see you on more and more, and I enjoy you. So I just wanted to see if I could get a few people over to hang out with you.
You did that, man. I appreciate you. I did not expect that. You just made my night. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Listen, I'm gonna catch you later. I appreciate you so much.
You too, Santana.
All right, have a good one.
You too. Oh my God. Amazing.
I think, hold on, I was about to say, hold on.
I got you.
I was about to say, I don't know how to leave. There we go. I don't know how to leave, but for all of you other people that's still hanging out here, shame on you. I told you guys to leave. Told you guys to leave. Whatever.